Hello and welcome back to the Pop Tab Podcast, the podcast that's as sweet as soda for breakfast. I'm one of your hosts, Brent, Kruscke, the upholder of the unpopular opinion, and joining me today, as always, the Gundam Guardian, the ghost host, Jacob Stokes. The Pop Tab Podcast is filmed in front of a live Twitch audience. If you want to be part of that audience, head on over to twitch.tv/RealPixel to do just that. Or if you just want to catch the VOD later on, youtube.com/RealPixel. Or if you just want to listen, patreon.com/RealPixel. It's available in multiple places, but in all the different formats for your viewing and listening pleasure. You say hold?
All of them.
All of them. A little bit of housekeeping. So this week for streams, nothing going on Thursday because essentially we have a video that's got to go up Friday and it's got to get approval. So I essentially have to make myself available Thursday if an edit has to happen.
Potential edits,
yeah,
just in case.
Just in case. I don't want to be streaming for 30 minutes, then have to leave, then come back. It's not going to be. So no stream Thursday. Doing more Bloodborne Friday. Saturday, we're actually streaming, but not streaming on Real Pixel. We're going to be streaming on the twitch.tv/CoverGoBlue because we're doing special gameplay with new cards. So if you want to come watch that, I'll be on camera. Stokes will be running the ones and twos, and who knows who's going to show up.
I say that, and then he goes, you'll be on camera.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
Yeah. I guess
I'm going to run it.
Yeah,
and he's like, you can show me how to run it.
Yeah, show me how to run it. Well, CGB, I think everyone wants you there more than Stokes. But
it's
and CGB, if you want to break, there's other people that can take the spot. But
hey, we'll take it. We'll
see how it goes. And then Sunday, I've not thought that far ahead because I'm trying to make sure everything gets done for Friday, essentially. But if stream happens on Sunday, it'll either be probably just more Bloodborne. Make sure I get that wrapped up before I jump into the next game, which I'm not sure yet. But we'll get into it more later. Then we go over what we've watched and played recently. I'm trying to think if I watched anything. I felt like I went to, and then I ended up not. Oh, I was going to go see a movie, and then I ended up not making it to the theater because I don't remember why. But I had it all planned out, and then I went, oh, no, I can't because of this and this. I can't remember now. Actually,
what day were you going to do that?
I think I was going to do it Sunday. Oh, I think I came in and edited the.
I say you did stream.
That was it. Yeah, I did the edit. I decided to work instead because I'm, work-life balance. Who needs it? But I was going to go see something I was pretty excited about. New horror movie. Ash, I think it's called.
Oh, that's out?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I was out like last week, I think it came out. That's why I was like, oh, I'll catch it.
Last week, like 4 days ago?
Yeah.
5 days ago?
I think so.
Okay.
So,
but I want to see that too.
It does look good.
I saw its premiere and everything, but it was at a festival, so I thought it was like a festival premiere. I didn't know it was just out.
No, it had 2 show times because it seems to be a smaller movie, so who knows how long it'll be out. But I want to check that out. But other than that, watching One Piece. I'm 50 episodes from caught up, which is not as close as I would like to be because I think April 4th is when the new episodes start, or April 4th is when we hear.
So you're
April 4th.
So you're going to be 51 episodes for a week and then 52 for another week if you don't catch up.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
That's not bad at all.
Plus, also because I've watched the whole show with having
dubbed.
That's the other thing is I don't know when the dubbed will take.
So you're not actually weeks away.
It's also interesting. I think the last 20 episodes, for the first time ever in the show, when it shows the title card on screen, it's not in English. It's just in Japanese. But every other episode has always been in English in the same font since like episode 1.
Sure.
And then it switched Japanese, new font. I went, oh, whoa.
We're in a new.
This is weird. Gear. Yeah. So, but I'm getting really close. Really enjoying it. Tons of fun. And then anything I played off stream. I played a little bit of
Temptation Island.
I did start Temptation Island.
You only started it.
I'm only 2 episodes in. I feel like because we're off like different episodes, it's going to be hard to talk about until it's just all done. And then I feel like we could deep dive through the whole thing.
Well, because it's not week to week, we can do that though. Yeah. So it took 3 days of watching. If you don't mix it with other things, then you'll be there. So it's not bad. It's not long.
No. I think we'll be able to get through it pretty quick.
It only ever took us 10 days of watching for our 10 episodes because we would get them one at a time.
One at a time. So it was fun to do the talk right there. It's like, I think this is going to happen. What is this going to happen? But it's not really something that happens nowadays. Very rarely is it episodic. It's usually just here's all of it or whatever it is. Even if
I would have watched it week to week now, but watching it all at once, I was like, yeah, this episode really was kind of light.
Nothing.
It feels heavier when you're like, what's next? But there's no social media for Temptation Island anymore.
Oh, okay.
so they don't post promos for the weekly episodes coming and stuff, of course, because they don't have that. So there just isn't. There's no social media for it at all.
Gotcha.
So because of course Shay goes, where are we at now? What's the update? What's the update on these people? And I'm like, I'll find it.
We'll get there.
I'll search.
You're further ahead. I haven't scrolled through the episode.
I'm done.
You're done?
Yeah.
Is the recap part of it?
There's no recap. Oh, well, reunion.
Reunion, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no reunion, no.
Dang.
Shay, someone who didn't originally like watching reunions. We watched the last one. She's like, man, this was really good. So we finished. She's like, all right, when can we do the reunion? And I had to hit her with it. Oh. And she was like, wow, I didn't think I'd miss it this bad. And I'm like, I know, because we're so curious.
I have a hard time watching. Reunions are probably the hardest thing for me to watch, but it's like I need to know the information.
Well, because they're all doing it to each other's faces, and it's all live, and it's all whatever.
I don't like it. But
no, I do like it.
But yeah, so Temptation Island.
It's unfortunate because some of that makes me think there's almost like an invalidation of the show. Do you remember? I think her name was she did Ash because there's 1,000 fucking Ashleys on this show all the time. Yeah. I think her name was Ash
with the tattoos. With the hippie dude, kind of that was
the
like
hippie dude that was like, I want an open relationship, and his name was like fucking Hazel or some shit.
Yeah,
I'll never remember. Hazen? No, I know a Hazen.
No, it's something like that though. It's like an H, like a soft H name.
Hanya.
Yes, that's it. Hanya.
I'll never pull that out. That'll never come to my mind. Well, I don't remember.
That's crazy.
But I think her name was Ash, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Ash and Hanya. They were the ones that, for Ash at least, Hanya by the end was like essentially begging. And Ash was like, I'm leaving with Thor over here. You know, this jack dude fucking got the big eyebrow. He's like caveman with the long hair. And then doesn't get a text from him after the show, doesn't whatever. I was just like, oh man, this show really, it's like, I understand there's the veil of we're resorting with each other. The whole point is just to make out in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Like that's the point. But there's something, watching these other ones where Shay Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, the other bullshit ones.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, well, then you just have to go live with each other for 2 weeks. And we're still going to film you, so there's something to it. But I was like, man, you feel like after this, you'd have done something. You'd have text at all.
Yeah.
Or, it's just crazy to me that there's some people who just cut off. I'm not saying that's what happened with this one, but that's the shit that I find in the reunion that I'm like, oh man, it almost invalidates the show, but it's just more tea.
What's crazy to me is that they go, I'm here with you for this whole show. Cool. We peace out. And they say, I'm ghosting you. I don't want to talk to you again. I'm not going to reply text. And then they get the email. Hey, do you want to come for the reunion? Yeah. I'll go do that. Now, I'm sure there's a dollar tag. There's the money, which I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
$10,000.
Yeah.
But probably not $10,000.
No.
But enough.
Yeah. So I'm like,
we'll fly you out, we'll pay for it, and then we'll give you $3,000.
And all you have to do is get yelled at by somebody you met for 3 weeks one time. Sure.
And you were the good guy up until this point, so no one has any negative,
Interesting.
But I still did enough deep diving on just the couple people that I was like, where did this go? That I've got the info for you.
Cool.
When you finish, hopefully by next week.
Might be tight, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I'm still wrapping up the busy. I think I'll be caught up next week.
That's the spirit.
That's the dream.
That's the spirit.
But then I've also started watching Solo Leveling season 2. Good stuff. It's still a cool show. Finally get to see like new powers. Yep. New powers you got from season 1 that's coming into effect. It's interesting. They set up like a main bad guy at the end of season 1. I was like, I'm excited to see this pay off. He shows up, and I don't think he's like taken care of, but they introduced another thing that he's dealing with that I'm like, I did not see this the direction you were going with it. Like you set him up like this is the big bad. We'll wait all season and there'll be a fight, but it's not that direction. I was like, oh, okay. I really don't know where we're going. This is interesting. So that should be fun. I'm still good. Still animation's good. I listened to the theme song or the intro song way before I started watching the show because I use it for workout. It's a good song. It's by an artist. I forget her name, but she's been doing like Lisa. It's possible. Possible, probable.
So, okay, Solo.
I know it's got Felix from Stray Kids.
Intro music. Hiroyuki Sawano.
Do season 2?
Solo Leveling.
Because I know it's got Felix. What up, James?
I see what you're saying. Season 2 intro music. Arise from the Shadow. Oh yeah, by Lisa. Nice.
Lisa featuring Felix. Yep.
Nice.
Lisa, you nailed it. I was gonna say because she's doing a ton of stuff right now.
Yeah. Well, she's been popular
everywhere. But I'm a big Stray Kids fan, so to
She
hear
was.
Felix and I was
remember
like, let's go.
that game? What's that game that you played? That I was like, hey, you're playing a fucking K-pop game, but because I thought it was Blackpink.
Oh yeah, yeah, it wasn't Blackpink. Oh my god, what was that game? Oh, it was a Dark Forest. No.
No.
Oh my god, it was one of those weird Steam games though.
Who cares? I don't care.
don't
but
remember.
it just looked like Blackpink.
Yeah.
But she was a member of Blackpink.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, of course, they all eventually broke off to do their own thing. But it's so funny because I didn't know who she was by name, association, whatever. She was just on a playlist I used to listen to in the morning, which was essentially just Pop Girl playlist.
Oh, okay.
It's 7 a.m. I'm killing zombies to fucking pop music.
Nice.
That's my vibe. But I recognized a ton of her music. And then she was at the Oscars and sang, I think it was her, sang one of the Bond songs.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, holy shit, it's Lisa. Like, I know
Everywhere.
you. And then, I said her name out loud enough. I got something about her on YouTube.
Nice.
That was like how a broke girl from the country became one of anime's biggest music stars.
Oh.
And I was like, anime's biggest music star? I didn't know she did anime music. I
Yeah.
only know her for this other stuff. So, yeah, then that's when you say something anime doing other things. I'm like, I think I know this.
Yeah, you do. I was gonna say because
When I start knowing anime musicians,
because I want to say,
gotta take a
it's
long
solo
look in the
leveling.
mirror.
There's so many. She might have done one of the haikus too. She did a ton of them. That's the thing is like it was just so many openings.
every Lisa anime. Look at that.
Whoa,
That's a lot. Let's see. We got Solo Leveling,
Yep.
Shangri-La,
Oh, Shangri-La Frontier. Yep, that's a good one.
Demon Slayer. Which
Yep.
there's a lot of different Demon Slayers.
Yeah.
I'm Sword Art Online, one of them. Fate Zero.
I haven't watched
From
Fates.
Fate Zero.
I
I
haven't
know
watched
it's
any
all
of
the
the
different
Fates,
Fate things, but those are the ones I recognize.
Good job, Lisa. You're killing it. Great songs. Great workout songs. That one, and then I recently
Listen
added
to
in
her English music too.
I recently added in the song that they used at the Elimination Chamber. They had the theme song for that. I added that in there too.
Nice.
Similar vibes, very different artists, but it's like got the
Sure.
same kind of vibes to it. So I like
Take
that.
your word for it.
I wanted to say the Royal Rumble. I'm like, nope, not the Royal Rumble. The one after that, which was a cage, but it wasn't Hell in a Cell. It wasn't a cage. It was. I had to go through all the
chamber.
things. Chamber. And then other than that, I've been playing games that I played on stream. Still playing a little bit of Final Fantasy X. I haven't had time this week to really get back to it too much. And then Alec was free this weekend, so we played a lot of Frag Punk. Been really balling. A lot of fun.
Yeah, Derek hopped in your stream. Derek goes, "Is Brent playing Valorant?" And I was like, "Nah, kind of. It's like Valorant. It's free. It has the same kind of round-based shooter. It's competitive." And he's like, "Well, the art style is like exactly the same." And I was like, "They're very similar."
Similar.
I was like,
Similar.
They're similar. I was like, yeah, they're similar. This one has like a card system, and I explained the card system. I was like, so it takes sort of the validity of competitive, and I think it just throws it out the window.
A little bit.
And he's like, oh, well, they're sweating pretty hard. And I was like, well, they typically do that with most games. And he's like, well, why not just do Valorant then? Because it seems like it'd be the better option. I'm like, it probably would be, but it's not new. Like, if you wanted to be competitive, it's like you control the variables there. Besides your teammates, which you'll never control, but this one has teammates and cards, and all of a sudden I've got a big head. And, it's like weird shit that you're like, oh, this guy can see through walls, and everyone has superpowers that are
The problem
like healing and what, I don't know.
Valorant specifically right now is they have the precision shooting of Counter-Strike, like it's
Yep.
like tight.
Yeah.
Where Fragpunk's a little bit more arcadey shooting. It's still tight, but not as tight as CS.
Still low TTK.
But the Valorant powers have gone insane. Like the hero powers, their abilities have gone off the wall. Like, because I played a lot of Valorant, I watched people play it. I get a lot of TikToks. A lot of people are not leaving Valorant, but just complaining that the game is no longer like a precision shooter. It is like
Ability spam.
It's ability spam. Everyone rushes the point, and you just hope you find somebody in the colors because it's like one has a blue flash, one has a red flash, one has.
Sure.
It's like It's just colors
you got
and
the,
nonsense.
the green teal ball. You've got the wall of fire stuff.
Yeah.
I've seen them before.
I've always thought it was really a guy colorful. Broke down why the problem with is there was a pro match or whatever. And he's like, so you see this character, he's going into sight, he's playing defense, they're about to rush sight. He goes on this spot just to stand here while he sets up his things. And then he doesn't get to play the round because as soon as he gets back to his character, there's like fire in front of him. A thing goes shockwaves through him that pushes it in the fire. He starts to get hurt. So he tries to run away and then a shock stalls him and he just literally dies. Like he doesn't get shot once. It's just all the abilities came in at once and he couldn't play. And I'm like, yeah, this is what I felt like when we went back to Valorant a while ago. I was just like, oh, it's no longer a shooter. It's so weird.
Yeah.
So, and Fragpunk does have abilities, but it still is a lot of shooting.
He says something about how you guys were talking, how you guys were winning the round, but you collectively had 0 kills too. You were talking about, you're like, yeah, we got no kills, but we're winning.
Yeah. Well, so here's the other thing. We're playing competitive. We're doing ranked.
Crazy.
And we play a match. I get 6 kills. I think I'm like 6 and 4. I don't know. I remember. But I get kills. Alec gets no kills. I go up in rank 28 points. Alec goes up rank in 31 points. And I go, why did you get more rank than I did?
More LP
I did
or
more.
Whatever. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I don't know.
What he was talking about too.
So then the next match, Alec played really good. I played crap. I got more XP than him. And then I was like, sweet. Next game we both played like crap. We got more XP than we got the last 2 times. And I'm like,
that's because of streak. LPs do care about streaks.
Streaks?
Too.
It's insane.
I don't know why you had more or less whatever. Maybe it was because of like your offline, like separate from each other predictive ranks.
Maybe
there's a they call it so many different things in other games, but like your MMR.
Yeah.
Your like multiplayer match rankings that are like hidden numbers that you can't see. That might have been like because you said he got more.
Yeah.
And then you got more.
And then the next time because I did because I did worse and then he did better.
That
like it flip flop. That's what I'm saying. It's like it was
I'm
like
saying just because if you and I were to both just play a ranked match of Overwatch, which you'd have to do 10 games and whatever.
Yeah.
But if we did that and we both won, I would probably go up a little. You might go up higher, or vice versa, just because it'd say, "Oh, I deserve to be in gold because I've been there recently and I played whatever." You haven't been ranked recently. You haven't been, so you're going to get less because we don't know if you're actually bronze or you're actually gold or actually master.
Yeah,
you know.
And Alec has played more than me, so the play is a little off, but. I don't know if he was playing ranked without me. Yeah. I don't know if that matters. It's just all like normal.
I don't know
play.
If it's game to game. So I'll it's hard to measure.
But it's a ton of fun. I like it's good. It's fun in the sense that it is arcadey, and even though I'm trying to be competitive, just mostly because I want my teammates to be competent, and I don't want. So for when we started playing again recently, we were playing just the standard mode. There's a character that can like throw out a trap, and if that trap hits, it like teleports to another place where you put the trap. And people were trying to do this thing where they put the trap
or something.
Well, they put it in front of them, and then they hold the knife, and as soon as someone teleports in, they like gets a stab, like an instant kill. It's just like a weird like meme TikTok thing that people started making videos for.
Sure, yeah.
So we were playing matches, and we would just see people like with the knife out, standing behind the portal. I'm like, you're not even okay, so we need another person on A because you're not playing. You're just waiting to get a kill for a clip or something. So it's like when you get into ranked, there's not that. You can at least have people playing. Sure. I don't care if I go up and down really. Put me in bronze, put me in
just want to
Punk
play
Master or whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want people to play. That's like the top rank. It's called Punk Master. So I just want people to play seriously when I'm playing. And if I do bad, they're going to probably flame me a little bit, but that's okay. I don't care. Whatever. As long as everyone else is taking it seriously, I'm good to play. Plus, I also just I got a free hero unlock, and it's a dude that his Q is essentially you pull out a guitar that's a shotgun, and you can slide and like, and he's got a bunch of sticky grenades he can throw. He's a lot of fun.
I like that.
A little bit more because I was feeling like I was playing too slow or playing too reserved. Now I can be like play reserved, but then if it's like, oh, everyone else is dead besides me, guitar, grenade, feels fun. So it's a good time.
That's good.
But that's really all I've been doing, playing. Other than that, it's been here filming or editing. That's been my last week. So, but I know you got some stuff.
Do I?
You never let me down. You got some stuff. I know you do.
Oh, that's all you got. Period. Is what you're telling me.
For watching and stuff. I got news to talk about after we're done this.
Oh, okay. I'm not letting you down by just having something I've seen. That's it?
No, that's all I need.
Well, yeah, that's good.
That's what I'm saying. You always got me.
I watched Temptation Island. I'm not going to talk about it, though.
Right. We're going to hold. We're going to leave that temptation out for everyone waiting for us to hear.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're not going to tempt me. I did miss the song.
That. I was like, nope, don't do it.
I did miss it.
I sang it over because there's not an intro again, but I sang it over the intro final episode.
You were right with the font and everything. I saw the font. I was like, man, he nailed that like description like perfectly. I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I pictured. So, let me get rid of this guy. Thank you for the views, but I don't need them.
Interesting. You think they're still here already?
You know,
I just dropped the message.
I don't need fake viewers. How about that?
Cheers. Only real ones like James.
Damn straight.
Started watching Mythic Quest.
Yep.
About like, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through that.
Very cool.
Which I guess 3/4 of 10 is 7.5, and that doesn't make sense. But you know what I'm saying.
Is it as good as the other ones? Has it been a dip or a change?
I would say that I thought so until these last couple episodes.
Oh, really?
Where I was like, oh, we'll say we're calling it a warm up. You know, you remember where season 3 ended?
Season 3, isn't this season 3? Has there been 3 seasons before that?
This is season 4.
Is it? I thought they had the season. Oh, right. Then the second
season 3 was them all alone, right?
Right. The second season ends with them leaving Mythic Quest.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, I might have just merged season 1 and 2 together then in my head.
There's 40 episodes, so I would admit, yeah, season 4. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
season 3 ended with them coming back. They're like, we want to come back.
Yes, season 3 was all about them doing their own company and kind of like creating Dana as she was the game tester.
Yeah.
Who essentially
she's now
is
a developer.
She's a developer.
They were doing that weird like, this is a sandbox. You can do anything in it. People
Dana
build their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Playpen was what they called that one.
Yeah.
I'm in it, so I kind of know the names again. I didn't remember Poppy's name.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, because I was like, it was something weird. Something real weird. I didn't remember anyone's name except for Ian because I'm like, it's Ian.
Yeah.
What kind of, you know?
But I need to admit something to you. My real name is Ian, but I changed it. Like, we know.
Yes, we're aware.
We're aware. Go on.
What was I getting at? Yeah. So there's I'm not finished yet, so I don't really know. But something in this very recent episode happened that I was like, I think we've done this before. Like,
okay.
Everything is written by somebody different. Everything is directed by somebody different. I can see that we're not meshing 100%. Like, this emotion that this person's having should have been over here, and like we've resolved it in the middle, but we're back at it. I'm like, maybe that's humans. It's true that we kind of ebb and flow between the same feelings back and forth. But I'm like, well, I'm looking for. I have 10 episodes of this person, so I would like them to develop, like, and grow, not to grow and regress and grow and regress. Yeah. And I don't know, individual characters. There's like some ties and moments where I'm like, okay, season 4 of this person is funnier than season 1 of this person. But otherwise, it feels less like the arc matters and like more they're going episode by episode.
Got it.
But yeah,
cool.
I'm still enjoying to watch. I'm still going to finish it.
It definitely seems like a show that even like, I think we agreed Ted Lasso in the end kind of petered out in like quality. Yeah. But the characters themselves, the same thing with Mythic Quest, I just like being around them. It's like the show could technically get bad, but I just like the characters enough.
That's the same thing as I was like, I don't know if I like that they did this one thing with this one person or what, but otherwise I'm like, I still like the crew.
You still like the people.
I still see everyone except for one person I'm like, where did you go?
Oh, okay.
But
interesting.
It's just like, I guess I haven't got an update from you, have I? That's kind of interesting, but...
Interesting. Is it like a...
Nah, I won't get any specifics.
Okay. Hey, Tron. What's up?
Hi, Tron. Yes, hi, Tron.
Said, hey, Guy. Which guy do you think, me or you? Anyway.
That's a good question. So
you've been watching Mythic Quest, Temptation Island, you finished. What's the next? There's something for a review. Or you're like, I hate letterbox reviews.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't looking at the reviews of those movies, or that movie. Although, I watched with the family this week, As Above, So Below. We're on found footage. So that was the one we watched because Derek brought up how he's like, oh, God, I hated watching that movie, like for the fear part of it. Not that it was a bad movie. And I was like, well, perfect. You chose it then. That's what we're watching.
Such a good found footage movie. Different style to it, different thing. And not spoilers, but it doesn't end with just like the camera hitting the ground and we don't know what happens.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few found footage movies the camera just doesn't hit the ground and go and then cut.
Well, it does hit the ground.
It does, but like you know what I mean. It doesn't have the same
I'm
thing.
Just kidding. But
so
they're lucky it hits the ground.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
not something else.
So I'm just saying, give me a sequel. I want more of that.
And it's too late. That's not gonna happen.
We can come back.
I'd love to, but I don't know what you'd do.
I don't know what you do either. I
But all the same, when we were going to hit play on it, because of course I didn't know where I owned it or if it was streaming or what, so I went to Apple TV. I do own it, but we saw it 24% on Rotten Tomatoes.
What?
And I was like, man, and at the end we all agreed. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is wrong with people?" Like, like listen, I'm okay that the movie has it. I could come up with problems for sure. Like, I think you've got a sort of you've got a main character that's more Lara Croft than Lara Croft. She's got the perfect PhDs and the perfect things, and she recruits the perfect guy with the perfect whatever. But what's he do for a hobby? He breaks into historical places and fixes old bells. I love it. I'm like, sure, dude, that's the most, you're both manic pixie people.
Yeah.
This is insane. This doesn't make any sense. You're the perfect candidates for this wacky National Treasure underground movie. Yeah. And it's all horror and whatever. And who's the weird girl that walks outside the club and then the choir and then pushes Benji down the hole? Who's the one, like, whatever. But as far, I'm like, at the worst, I'd give it a 65.
Oh, yeah.
If I saw that, I'd be like, that makes sense for the general audience. I watch a lot of great horror movies I think are 10s, but I was just like, 24? That's incorrect.
That's crazy.
I mean, I've seen that. I joked because Shay was like, I can't wait for watching a movie tonight. And I was like, you know, as much as I'm happy to watch a movie, I will. This is my 15th time seeing this movie, so like whatever. But I'm halfway through and I'm like, God, I love this movie.
It's so good.
I still get the when he's crawling through the bones. Like I still get that feeling. The jump scares really worked for everyone around me because I was like, I've seen him twist and then the fucking cave explode in the first bit 1,000 times. But Derek, well, of course, we got the volume turned up. They have the fancy like $900 Atmos soundbar that shoots sound off the whatever. We got the subwoofer pulled out. It's kicking.
I think I really like the part where he's playing the piano. He's like, I couldn't ever finish because the key was broken, and that note that it hits,
ding,
and then it just
he goes, ding. What's happening?
Yeah,
he's so calm. He's like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's so good. It's not like him just starts screaming or just like shaking.
We had the same
it's
piano. We had the whatever, and this.
What's this doing down here?
Yeah.
So and then you have the phone and you've got
how
the
did
car
they get a
on
piano
fire?
down here? How did they? Yeah, that's towards,
so
by
good.
the end you're like, we're in hell.
Yeah.
You know, but that first bit you're like, wait a minute. And what are they doing? They're following a guy that went missing down this chamber 2 years ago, and it's been bricked up. How has he been here? What's that? There's all these questions, but you see that piano. My mom, who's seen this movie before for sure, she went like, oh fuck, is what she said out loud. Oh fuck.
So funny.
And it was like, I love that you guys never see this coming. Like you're just so untrained to this. That it was like when he goes, that note never worked. And I'm like, well, the note's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Oh man. But it is great. You know, having watched it the first time and then buying the Blu-ray and watching it immediately afterwards, seeing that one in theaters, I'm like, dude. And then I just love Lara Croft. I love National Treasure. I love it. So it's like the puzzles of it, I think also make sense. And the more I watch it, the more I'm just like, once I understood the clues the first time, now I can look and, the key's on his back and, this means this and this means that. They go through them kind of fast in this movie. And I'm like, no, the puzzles tie together. They make sense. Yeah. And it's also cool because much like National Treasure, it adds a flair of like Tomb Raider too. There it goes, here's raw history. A little at the end where you're like, that's magic. Like Uncharted does the same thing.
Yeah.
Where you're like, he just resurrected. Like that stone just healed that person. Like, okay, we got magic at the end, but
Very
like National
Indiana
Treasure,
Jones.
it's like all of this is based on real. Nicholas Flamel's real. The whole premise of alchemy, as much as alchemy's not real, it's real.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very interesting. But to see it at such a low rating on that was
shocking.
Disappointing. No, the thing that I brought up when I pulled up Letterboxd that I was like, oh, somebody I know, Eleanor. She used to be the person who would take your order at Oakwood.
Oh, okay.
Went to film school. I gave her a whole bunch of my Blu-rays when I was dumping them and getting rid of them before I went to before they garage saled. I had her take. I was like, take any movie you want, and then I'll sell the rest. I follow her on here, and she recently reviewed. Yesterday, she reviewed Heretic at 2.5 stars, which I was like, oh, I really like that movie. I would have given it 4, maybe even 4.5. Like I really enjoyed it. But I could see somebody giving it a 2.5 because it's very talky, very religious focused, like just it's like talking theories out loud in a movie is really it. Not a whole lot of excitement to it. It's the Hugh Grant one.
The Hugh Grant
trapping the girls.
That one?
And it's about religion. It's about changing minds. It's about persuasion. It's about a lot of things. But
visual effects in that was done by a guy who used to work at Corridor Digital. He started his own company, and they did a lot of the visual effects in that movie.
Nice.
There's a shot of the camera pulling out of the maze as she's walking through, and it pulls out of the maze
into
to
the
table,
desk, and then
she walks through the door.
I'm glad
They
you
did
saw that because you saw it and you're like, oh man, I don't want this to be mystical. And I was like, oh well.
But
not mystical.
Fenner did that, worked on that shot, his company.
Well, I was very curious. I was like, oh, Elle, why didn't you like this movie?
Yeah.
I click it open. Her review is, get a load of this guy. And I'm like,
Is that a quote from the movie?
No.
Oh,
No.
it's just a.
I was like, no shit.
No, you
I
don't know
kind of
why.
wanted to know.
Dang.
If you give a movie 3 stars and a heart, I don't need the review. You know what I mean? Okay, you felt middling on it, but you had fun. That's great. 3 stars and a heart's great. But 2.5 stars, I'm like, okay, you found the middle point of 3 and you went down 1 from that.
Yeah.
And I get a load of this guy. I'm like, you could have said that at 5 stars.
That's true.
You know what I
That's
mean? You
the
could have
same
said that at 1 star too.
You hear it different, but it's the same words.
Yeah. I don't know. So
Sorry.
that was where my frustration was at. I was like, God damn it. There's also people I follow on here that I know they're going to put a review on YouTube. Or I have Colin on here. He doesn't put star reviews, but I don't think he'll put hearts either.
Interesting.
But he just logs it. Essentially,
Oh,
It's
okay.
just like, did I watch this? When did I watch it? He leaves reviews for movies he really wants to say something about, which is pretty rare. But I talk to him on PlayStation at least every other week. So I talk about the movie. I'm like, hey, I saw you log this. I saw you log that. And we chat about the movies. But there are, he told me that he's like, I saw you logged this and you didn't put a heart. That's like Hideo Kojima saying he saw a movie. That's like, there's no more scathing a review than I saw Marvels.
Yep.
You know?
No heart.
No, that's it. No review. It's just, I saw it. A smile at the theater.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, that's scathing when you don't give a heart to something. I was like, I do. I'm simple. I'm easy to please now.
Well, is there anything else you watched?
No.
No.
Nope. I watched some Gundam Unicorn, but again, I didn't finish anything, and Gundam Unicorn was a fucking lot. It's just a lot. So much information dumped on me that I'm like, I've been in this timeline for 50 years, 60 years. Why don't I know what you're talking about? This is ridiculous.
Is this the next one in the line after Counterattack?
Yeah. Which Crunchyroll only has subbed. So I looked it up on Apple TV, and Hulu has it subbed and dubbed. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Why?
Must be a licensing thing.
I guess, yeah. But they also are presenting the exact episodes just pushed together as a movie.
Oh, Hulu is?
Hulu is.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And I'm like, as someone who watched the first full episode and went into the second before, I was like, let me just check somewhere else. I was like, I just watched the first episode again. I was
Weird.
like, okay, so they really are just 1-to-1, minute to minute, but they're as movies. I don't know.
Sometimes I wish there was I get for not new stuff, but watching One Piece or Dragon Ball or something that's either
You want it
long,
abridged.
not abridged, just give me 100 episodes and just put them into one timeline so there's no outro and intro every 17 minutes that I've got to skip through.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
It's-
I don't have that problem. So.
I would just like to be on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Just keep going. I don't care whether, because one of the best things that Rooster Teeth did is they put their Red versus Blue. They just put the episodes into a movie, so you can just put on the movie of season 1.
Oh, cool.
And there's season 2, and it's I don't have to skip because their episodes early on were 3 minutes, so
yeah,
it
they
was
were real
way
short.
annoying. So
Well, yeah, the things I watch don't have that problem, so I'm lucky. But we've got what we watched. We've got what we played. I did also read.
oh, okay.
I've been reading regularly, but it's manga and it's reading asterisk. But
yeah, just reading with pictures.
I finished. It is reading with pictures, and it's funny. I'm reading through, and I'm like, why don't I like comic books more? I'm like this. I'm enjoying this more than I am a comic book normally, and I'm like, maybe I should just. It's branching out of superheroes that'll do it for me. It's also something about the texture of the paper and the black and white that I'm like, oh, it doesn't. It's not photo paper graphically bright colors as I'm trying to go to bed. I don't know. It's a small thing, but I'm like, maybe that's it.
For me,
The feeling of it feels like a paperback.
yeah, and you might have been because you'd probably have tried different comic books. For me,
James, you're correct. That is existing. He's talking about the other One Piece anime that's restarting with where they're doing it abridged and they're redoing the animation with a different
Yep.
stylization and stuff.
Yep.
I'm not saying I will watch it, but I'm not saying I won't.
I will. I'll go back through it all.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
fucking freak.
But I also found out. Okay, I got 2 different paths. Real quick, I'll go back to my original path. So, what I found with manga is there's certain manga that I think I'm interested in, I'm reading, but there's almost too much in each panel, like dialogue wise, where I feel exhausted when I get done with pages, where I like when it's spread, like it's the same amount of dialogue, it's just spread out throughout panels. Now, the trade-off is less happens in each issue, but I feel like I'm able to digest it better. And I feel like I've run into that a couple different
I've
times.
found the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, actually, I found the same thing, just preferring the other.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, I wanted to read something tonight. I enjoy the visuals for the sake of blocking and my visual memory. But when an episode,
Issue or whatever?
Yeah, when an issue happens that is, or a chapter that is mostly action, I get to the end and I'm like, I couldn't fucking see what was going on. This wasn't in motion. And I didn't get a descriptor. It's hard to tell because no one is also a humanoid in this. They're a fucking chainsaw person.
Yeah.
And then I get to the end and I was like, okay, they fought, he won. Let's just keep going. I mean, I don't read issue by issue now, so that doesn't bother me. But I'm like, I would rather learn something about somebody as I'm doing this. Give me more dialogue, more. That's why, dude, I really got to get that Gundam thing.
Yeah, you
because
do.
there's a fuckload of talking in that. And I'm like, dude, I got to get it. So I can't wait. It sucks. It's like $40 an issue or a volume.
Yeah. So the other thing I had was, I was on the Crunchyroll store, which I never am on, but I was like, let me just see what they have. And I saw that you can pre-order right now in October. They're releasing a book that's specifically One Piece Law, which is just Trafalgar Law's story between his backstory you've gotten
nice.
and when you meet him as Luffy. I was like, I'm so ready. So I'm excited.
Nice.
So I'm like, I
Pre-order it or it'll be gone.
yeah. I
much is
don't
it?
know if I want it. It's $9, $10, I think. So
Lock it in, dude.
yeah, I want to know. I wanted to get it so I could like pick it up that day instead of ship. I don't want to order it from Crunchyroll. I'll just go to BAM or something. But
Oh, it's not an exclusive. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But I just swear I saw it the first time. So, but
Sure.
I saw it last night. I was like, oh man, I'm excited. So,
Well, I bring up reading Chainsaw Man now because we, watched, played, read.
yep.
I finished volume 11, which is the end of the box set, and at the very end it said, "This is the end of arc 1, something, something, something." And I was like, "Oh, that's great." What's interesting is I don't have any questions, and I feel like we could be done. And there's no new villain you've teased, and I don't know where we go from here. Let me get the 12th volume, which then I went. It was like $10 or whatever. Bought it. I decided to not read it in one night because it's easy to read a volume in a night. They're simple reads. But I was like, okay, that's enough of a cliffhanger for me. I'll read tomorrow, which Shay fucking hates about me that I'm like, no, I want to yearn a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll close it there, even though that was really interesting. I'm done. And then I finished the first volume and I was like, man, that really was just introing something completely fucking different than what I am used to with Chainsaw. And so I'm like, I'm going to have to pause this because I got every question I wanted answered. And it wasn't until the final pages of this that I got any characters from the first 11 volumes. I'm like, these are all new people.
Was there a
this
time
is just
jump?
a different story. No.
Oh.
I guess a time jump, I'll say 6 months.
Okay.
It like technically.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's like, we'll say we're going to sail into the sunset. And then it's them hitting their first island is really the thing I did. I'm like,
Gotcha.
oh, you hit another hurdle. Like, okay, sure. But yeah, that's where I'm like, man, I'm starting to feel the fact that this isn't done. Because I'm like, what happens when I'm halfway through the third arc? And I don't know, because it took 11 volumes to get through arc 1. Volume 19 comes out in October. Because I was just looking, what's the newest volume? And they've announced 19 in October. 17 is out. It just came out, I think last week. And then
Gotcha.
18's in late May, early June. So it's in between. And I was like, okay, so 22 is the volume that I'm going to be done if we're doing arcs by the same numbers. And I'm like, okay, I can't do that. Because then 22, by that math, comes out October 27. 26 rather, not 7. And I'm like, yeah, no, I am not. I can't start this right now. I read it, I started, and I was like, that was interesting. But it might as well have been a not Chainsaw Man, just in the world, from the mind of,
Like that new My Hero thing that's about vigilantes or whatever. It's like, well, it's My Hero, but it's not My Hero.
Yeah. I might as well have just read Fear the Walking Dead.
Yeah.
I'm like, did I want this? It's cool. Now I own it. But I'm like, I'm not going to go by 13 now. I'm going to stash that on the shelf and have 1 through 11 plus 1. And I think it'll be I think I'm gonna be reading a fucking black leather Bible in bed now with the Berserk manga. So that'll probably be my next one. I might actually be picking it up today.
Walking Dead is sad because it's a comic book that then graphic novel that I read a lot of, and then the show got announced. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Yeah,
and then the show got announced, and I got so excited for the show, and I liked the first season, and then the show, for me, jumped off a cliff. And I just stopped reading it too. And I'm like, I could just go back and read it. Like, I enjoyed that before it was ever a show. I just didn't. Like, the show put such a sour thing in my mind that I'm like, I don't like the books either anymore.
I've told you, I've told you, I've told everyone, and I used to have a sort of call it a shame on I don't like reading.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, pressures in school I could go over, but growing up my whole life being told I'm perfect and everything's going to work out for me and I'll be the best at everything I do. With that, I was an excellent reader. It was always had the pressure of being the best reader in the class, and then for many, many years I was. So I'm good at reading. I just don't like it. I don't have the right visual mind to just read, absorb. But I've realized that with manga, with comic books, having that, like I said, that blocking, there's like almost a cinematic, and I'm curious about how they do frames, and the panel layouts are becoming something I'm like, I think I'm interested in this. Like, this is really unique. Colin working on his werewolf comic, him talking about his design process. I'm like, these are things I wouldn't have thought about that are really interesting. So I like the idea of reading manga, comic books, whatever, before bed. So I think I am going to keep going with that. But I don't, and I like reading before bed. So it's a simple task of I get ready at 10 and I read until about 10:30 and then I go to bed. So I'm excited to be like, oh, well, there's 30 other series I could be reading. Like I hear Parasite's dope.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'm like, well, the anime.
Yeah.
So I'm like, cool, maybe I'll read it.
Yeah.
I'll grab a Junji Ito because he's a legend. How could I not grab Junji Ito? Like, that sounds great. But I've got Berserk. I want to read through Gundam Origin. Like, I'm just like, oh, my backlog just became very, very large, but I don't own it yet.
But then also, it's before bed, so it's not like you're going to run out of bedtimes. So it's like, a backlog's not a bad idea.
I'll run out one day, but by then I'm not worried about what I'm reading.
True.
But the review on Chainsaw Man 1 through 11, it's just fucking dope.
That's great.
Just so cool all the way through. It became so much less about Denji, the main character, Chainsaw Man, that it made me happier. That I'm like, cool, this guy was only mildly interesting and the people around him were cool. In the anime, they kill a lot of those people, so it was like, how much further could we go? Turns out I'm excited to watch as it comes out.
Very
everything
cool.
that I've read, and there would be times I'm like, Shay, dude, the shit I just read was fucking insane. Like, I want to tell you, but you've watched it, so we'll watch it together, and I'll be hype and everything. But yeah, there's some really cool shit. So
cool.
I was satisfied with that volume 11 ending.
Nice. I actually picked up the iPad last night to catch up on some stuff, and it wasn't charged, and I was like, well, I'm gonna plug it in, and then I went to bed.
So that's the thing, is it's not to eliminate screen time, because I'm not fully against that. Sometimes, like, the thing that helps me sleep is putting on an ASMR video or someone just talking about a fucking Gundam, or my favorite is I'll put on rules to a board game.
Oh, okay.
Because there is a piece of interest in my mind, and then I go, oh, yeah, and then they start explaining rules, and I'm,
Yep.
So sometimes a video helps me, but I do think reading from an iPad before bed would be like antithetical to what I'm trying to do.
That's
would
fair.
just put me to sleep. I know reading makes me sleepy, so I'm doing it before bed to make me sleepy.
Yeah.
So
For me, it's just expense. It's easy to spend $2.99 a month to get all the manga I want instead of $10 on one volume of one thing.
Well, so getting the only ones I've received as a Christmas gift was nice. That was a piece of it, though, was I was like, man, I could have read this in a night, but I did it in 2.
Yeah.
And sometimes, then I hit a weekend and I don't read before bed when it's the weekend, because I'll play video games until my eyes hurt and then I'll fall asleep immediately.
Yep.
Or I'll be like, I'll watch Gunpla videos, because what am I waking up for tomorrow? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So I don't read every single night before bed, but I was like, well, I could do 2 of these a week, like, simply. And that's with me resisting to stop and whatever. So I was like, that's $20 a week, and I'm going to hit the end very soon. And the end is not the end. The end is my end. It's time's end. So that's why I'm like, yes. I'm like, okay, Berserk is over, and it's 700 pages of volume. Gundam, you saw how thick that one was, and also I just know it to be very talky, and I want to collect it and whatever. So I'm like, I could do those a little bit differently. So
Nice.
I'll be reading more.
So you went through everything. You've taken in, because I got 3 news stories, kind of.
I didn't talk about what I played.
Oh, what'd you play?
I played Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, I want to hear about it. I completely forgot.
I don't think I played anything else. I probably hunted one fucking monster because that's what I do.
Yeah. Did a couple
I do
dailies in
have
Overwatch.
one weird complaint. Shay and I went to go play Fortnite because that's one of the games she loves to play. I'm like, hey, let's play a little something.
Yep.
We go alone in Fortnite. And I open up Epic, or click Fortnite. It says Epic's failing to launch. Load up Epic, restart the computer, whatever. Epic is just not launching. So it's like, oh, what do? Just uninstall, reinstall the Epic launcher. That's easy. It's. I go to my uninstall, if I can add or remove programs, 200 megs, seconds. Doop, boop. Delete, add it. Every game I had deleted. So I had to re-download Fortnite, and I was like, man, now there's just missing icons amongst my games. Which I was like, what's a clean sweep? I'm missing that in Arena now is really all I care about.
There's been a lot of talk recently, specifically with Kind of Funny, because that's who I listen to for all video game news, but talking about Xbox in the future being a launcher on your PC that's just all your games will be through the Xbox window.
It's because, Phil and the crew, they've already mentioned that's their goal.
That excites me.
Is that they want you to, if you buy it here, you can have it there.
Because right now, to solve where all my games are, is I just have, my desktop is just full of the shortcuts. And I want less on my desktop. So it'd be nice to just be able to click the Xbox. Here's my window.
My desktop is clean. Trust me. How I have everything laid out. There's games by genre. It's very nice.
Mine is a little disorganized because I'll install a new game. I go, where did it go? Okay, it's at the end of the line. Then I'll have a few files, something else, a new game, stuff like that. I'll go to delete a game and I'll have a blank spot. I'll be like, well, it'll be filled next time I download a game. I download a game, go to the end of the line. Oh wait, no, it's somewhere. Where did I delete? Yeah,
that's insane. Yeah, I don't do that. My shit's. I have a stripe along the top and a stripe along the bottom, or the side, I mean.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I know right where I go, downloaded, shift everything, move it, whatever. I've got them in hierarchies. Shit's crazy.
So anyway, you play Fortnite.
It uninstalled Fortnite from me, but I streamed it to Derek, and he's like, bro, are you Hatsune Miku right now? And I was like, yeah, check out my shark slippies, dude.
Your shark slippies?
Yeah. And then as I drop, I got Chapel Roan Hot to Go playing as I drop. I'd rather it be Sabrina Carpenter, but she's not on sale right now. I got Rob Zombie's Dragula play when we win.
I completely forgot. I got to add in a drop song.
It's just cool that I'm just like, you know what? This game's so goofy as hell. And then we just get stomped on, and I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, what can you do?
So I think I played that. That was it. But then I played Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yes, Assassin's Creed. Let's hear about it.
And it actually came out.
Assassin's Creed #1 fan, Jacob Stokes, going to talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Forget everything you've heard everywhere else. This man will tell you how it is.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm the #1 fan in the whole world for sure. As someone who hasn't played Black Flag, which is apparently the best one out there. Anyway, it came out the midnight of the night when we had guests.
Yep.
And I had to drop them off at the airport at 5. So I was like, it comes out at midnight. I'll just play till 4.
Yeah.
Which is about when I have to start the car, get ready, be at their hotel at 4:30, at 5. I ended up falling asleep because the game is very story driven, and I was reading a whole lot and whatever, which, as we now know, puts me to sleep.
Yep.
But it was a very interesting start to everything. So it was first configuring all the settings and doing all this stuff. I updated my drivers beforehand, so I didn't get any weird messages or anything. And I was like, cool. I know that this game is one of those. They're going to highlight NVIDIA DLSS, part of the frame generation thing. Frames win games. We know this.
Of course,
I don't know about
games.
Assassin's Creed, but
now frames win games.
I turned everything up to super duper ultra max, and had a couple of frame stuttering issues, so I dropped it down one. But one of the other things they first start you off with is how do you want to play the game, and how do you want the game told to you?
Interesting.
And the play the game is we're gonna put everything you start a mission, it's going to put an objective on the map. You go to the objective, you do the mission, you kill the guy, whatever it is.
Pretty straightforward.
If you have that mode on, it turns off achievements.
What?
Yep. And I was like, okay, so the other one is the way I originally played Odyssey. I didn't beat Odyssey this way because I got sick of it pretty fast. But it was, I think it's called there's so many different fucking words for it, but I think it's immersive mode. And this one is, you talk to people and they go, oh, he's west of the river and north of this and south of that and east of here. And you're like, oh, okay, I think he's in this fucking forest somewhere. The difference being in Odyssey, when you get close and you have that same kind of feeling, you have a fucking eagle in the sky or a raven if you're in Valhalla.
Yeah.
And then your eagle, you just highlight and go, there he is.
Yep.
Somehow the eagle knows.
kind of. Yeah.
You have a scan. This game, you don't have a scan. There's no eagle. There's eagle noises and stuff every time you fucking you know, because there's eagles on the perch, but there is no bird that you're connected to. So you literally just have to like look. Now you can essentially like look, quote unquote, through walls with the fucking still called eagle vision.
Yeah.
But you can do that. And I was like, okay, I'll try it because I realized with Valhalla, I like just being here. I'm not in a race to beat the story. I'm not whatever. They did something a little different from Odyssey to Valhalla that pumped the brakes on me in the game in terms of how much time I'm spending in it. So I was like, all right, it's fine. I'll just live in it or whatever. Turns out it's because they've introduced mechanics to scan the world for you when you're not even... Like, I could be anywhere on the map and scan anywhere else on the map.
Oh.
They have a system of scouts in this game that I actually really enjoy so far, where you recruit people, you upgrade part of your base, you whatever, to gain more scouts.
Okay.
And you can send them to do things. And one of those things is to be like, go scout this region for this potential objective I'm looking for, which is to find a person, to find a location, to find a missing puzzle piece, you know? It's lore-wise, you're like, if I'm having them find a statue and they found it and told me, why didn't they just grab the statue?
Yeah, if it's
like,
this
it's
big.
this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, I get it, I don't get it, I'm sure. But you can whiff because it puts an AoE down. And if you're just off by like a street, you know, it's like, okay, well, he's not here.
Yeah.
I have never used that once. They make you use it once to show you, I guess. But after that, I've never used it. I just walk around until I find it. And I don't mind. But I can see where that would be quite the fucking headache for people who like achievements. Because you can just turn it off. It's not like flashing red like you're a fucking cheater or something.
Yeah.
It's not putting the game on baby-ass baby mode. It's just, I know where I'm going. Take me there.
I maybe have to think about it a little bit harder, but I am under the idea that nothing in the game should turn off achievements.
You know, I always bring it up as my comparison, Saints Row the Third.
Okay.
Because I don't have an achievement for Saints Row 2. One of my favorite games ever when I was playing it. Because I would instantly do a cheat. As soon as I load it, I'm like, I know, I want milk bones and fucking slappy hand, and I'm going to whack someone into the sky and twinkle them away like Team Rocket.
Yeah.
Saints Row 3, you go to do a cheat code, and they're like, we're going to shut off achievements. And I paid attention this time, because at that point, I'm like, oh, I got Borderlands 2 achievements or whatever games at that point. But as you go through their upgrade tree, what up, Stoney? As you go through their upgrade tree, by the end of it, you have all the cheat codes. Like, you literally become invincible. You can milk bone someone into the sky. You can do all that stuff without having to cheat to get there. So it's almost like they give you what the cheat code is at the end to help you out. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing where I get it. This one's confusing to me because I'm like, what's different is I'm just going to, instead of 70 hours, I might beat it in 55.
Yeah.
You know, because it doesn't take that long to wander.
I just feel like if you're developing the game and you're putting something in there, whether it be cheats or whatever it is, and then you set up the achievements, but you're like, well, I want people to earn these achievements. Why did you give them the option to make it easier on themselves?
You know, I played Uncharted 4, another game.
Yeah.
I was looking at Platinum, was one where they had cheat codes in the game, but you had to spend a currency you got for beating missions. And then those missions, you get those points, and you can buy concept art, you can buy like in-game statues of things and whatever, or you can buy cheat codes. And when you buy those cheat codes, achievements stay on.
Yeah.
But you had to earn them. So the idea of earning cheat codes, I love that idea. Mm-hmm. So I do understand though if the achievement is, I don't know, get 1,000 headshots in period, and you have a cheat code in the game that just auto turns on headshots. It'd be like, well, that's not quite the achievement we were hoping to. We built the achievement in this to do that. But that's also like, when's the last time that happens? It's very PS2 in my mind. I'm like, no one up, down, left, right, BA starts anymore. Like that's not a thing. So
especially
whatever.
If it's a mode like that they took the time to develop.
For me,
it's weird
because that really didn't matter to me. Because I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck about my Steam achievements.
Right.
Like,
no one does.
This much I do. I don't not fully, but I don't.
I didn't. And then they gave me all my Master Chief achievements just for turning the game on. I went, okay, I kind of like that. That's nice. Thanks. I appreciate it. So, but I really don't.
As I told Cody, because I was talking to Cody about it. He loves Assassin's Creed. He's beat Valhalla. He's beat Odyssey. He's beat whatever. I called him to see what he was up to this weekend. He was heading into town to go buy the game physical because he started recollecting physical games. He's into retro gaming. He goes to GT all the time to buy retro games. So he's like, I just want to own this game physical. And I was like, great, PS5, right? Yes, PS5, great. I was like, well, as soon as I beat it on PC, I'm probably going to want it on PS5 because that's where I'll get a platinum.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. I beat Odyssey multiple times.
It's fair.
Valhalla, I only started on PS5, so I didn't have to do it multiple times. But I'm going to live in the world this time, and then the next time I'm going like beeline towards the things I like and just absolute, slaughter. Just no role play. I'm going to asshole everybody away and just start killing people.
Asshole everyone away. That's a good way to put it.
Which I kind of did even in my role play mode this morning, actually.
But anyway, besides that,
so that was one of the things you could choose, and I just thought, I was like, oh, you're turning off achievements. I haven't seen that since Saints Row.
Yeah.
That because it's just such a weird thing to me now, and maybe that's not on PlayStation. I doubt it, but
because I've seen it in other games, but it's like they don't tell you. Like,
I've always been told.
In most recent memories, Halo Infinite, there's a glitch to go get essentially a tank gun as like you're holding it.
Yeah.
And if as soon as you get that, the achievements don't work the rest of the game. They did when it first came out. And that's how I essentially just rushed them until they put the patch out because I was like, well, I don't want to. Let me just get through Lasso real quick with this tank gun and we'll be good.
Yeah.
If you just get that right now, it won't tell you that you don't get the achievements. So it's like
but that was
weird.
to fix exploit. That was an exploit. They didn't build the game for that to happen.
Right. Well, they put it in there for me to get the thing. It's like an Easter egg to get the tank gun. So it's like, if you want.
Oh, really? But don't you glitch above the map with infinite ammo or something?
No. You just go into like a turret. You walk up to it. You crouch up to it, and then it literally has hold a thing to pick up a weapon. See, mine's B, whatever. Hold B to pick up a weapon. You pick up a weapon, and there's nothing there, but you shoot tank bullets. So it's like they put it in there. It's an Easter egg.
Oh, that's bad. And so then you drop it and you keep playing. Achievements are off.
Yeah, if you were to drop it, the achievements stay off. Yeah,
that's bad.
Yeah, so
that's bad. I've never had that happen.
It's just like what? It turns them off on PS5 too, says James.
James knows now. Okay, well, I'll be doing immersive mode, I guess, on there. But then there's the mode where it asks you, do you want to do dialogue or not? Sorry, not dialogue. Do you want to choose your dialogue or not? I don't remember that mode. All of these could be called immersive mode. I really don't remember their names. Because I was just like pick. I
was gonna say the screen's up there for about 4 seconds, then you move on.
But for me, I love the like. Do I want to be an asshole to this person? Do I not? Do I whatever? Which I'll talk about more. They kind of dumbed it down just a little bit. But
okay.
The final one that was really interesting was I was like, okay, I want the game in English. I want to hear it in English. Mm-hmm. You can choose it so you also there's Portuguese in the game because you've got people coming over, missionaries or whatever coming over. You can make it so they're Portuguese or English, and I've kept them Portuguese. I was like, foreigners, so I'll know Japanese, 13th Warrior, the whole thing. And then I start playing. The cutscenes are terrible.
Oh,
god awful.
Like in what way?
Not the cutscenes that are, I'll call them baked from now on, but we'll call them, there's CGI cutscenes, whatever, those ones. I call them baked cutscenes because they're baked just means the thing is locked in. It's not transmutive. It can't change in any way. These ones can change because if I come in with a special mask on and a sword hanging off my hip, I walk in that way in this game. So they're translatable to how I fit. So the things run in engine. Mm-hmm. It's one of those. There's a name for that type of cutscene. I just can't remember the name of it. But I'm sure you've seen funny videos where right before a cutscene, someone will set someone on fire, and then in the cutscene, they're just talking to you on fire. You know what I mean? Those are hilarious.
Red Dead stuff. Yeah,
it's all Red Dead that I've seen it for. But those are fun, and I like the idea because it's me the way I want to look. The game is super transmogrified, customizable, even more so, which gets big notes for me. I'll talk about, but I want to be me as I walk in. I don't want
big notes with the T-E-S?
Yes.
Notes. Oh, I thought you said big nose, and I was like, big nose.
Big notes.
Big notes. Got
big
it.
Notes. But so I like being me as I walk in. I don't like being the Naue or Yasuke that you make me be. I'm role playing this whole thing, right? So it makes sense. I get to represent myself visually as well. So I chose the role play. But the cutscenes just not doing it for me. They were like way too soft. It's almost like I'm in the game engine, and the camera just pushed into my face, and I'm soft. Like I'm like, this would look real good at the normal distance I'm at, but
like
something
the
about it's not working.
focus didn't
so I
repull?
changed some of my graphics and stuff, and it's still soft. And that's one of my biggest complaints is I'm like, man, this game is such a visual treat.
Yeah.
And it's funny when I have a cutscene and depending on the time of day, the shadows are hitting right. I'm getting the shadow of a leaf on my face, like a tight and it's crisp on my gummy ass face. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Okay.
I'm like, well, that's really weird because I'm running this on a beefy PC. I'm running it 100 plus frames a second, 1440p on an ultra wide. Shit looks golden. I'm like, man, games are back, baby. It's looking good. The audio experience is also fucking fantastic. I've got my volume cranked on all the way up, which is something most games you turn on, you go, whoa, you shut it down. I'm in it.
No, okay.
I got Atmos turned on.
Okay.
So, and it's Atmos enabled, so shit's fucking clean. But yeah, it wasn't working for me. And then also the dialogue, I haven't looked it up to see, but I believe the same actor that play each character, they are the English and the Japanese voice.
Oh, interesting.
Which I'm like, well, that's really cool because
impressive.
that no matter what setting I choose, the Naue sounds like the Naue. I mean, inflections and things, sure, but it's the tone, it's the voice. But I'm doing it in English, and Nate's watching me. He's like, dude, I don't know about this voice acting. I'm like, me neither. But for me, there was one thing that a character said that I was like, you're almost, this almost sounds racist.
Oh, shit.
Like how bad this English is.
Oh, the English. Okay.
There was a point where we have to go, and one of the characters almost literally goes, "Let's ride," and I go, "I can't do this. This is too much. This is like a joke. Like this is a South Park episode level of broken. I'll say broken English because the words are there. It's written for them, whatever. But the broken English of like, your accent is not okay, dog.
It's Ricky or what's his face?
Ricky Stenicki.
No, I was gonna say, what is it? Is it Ricky Mooney? No,
Kyle Mooney.
the guy
Ricky
from Breakfast at Tiffany's. That.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney. Ricky Mooney. Mickey Rooney.
Yeah, it's Mickey Rooney.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because it's coming from what I assume are Japanese people, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not wrong. It's just like, you're taking seriousness away because we're about to go into battle when that happens. And I go, like, all right, wash that one off. So I switched it to Japanese. Because I'm like, I'm reading read the subtitles, hit circle anyway, because it takes them too long. And I'm like, I'll live in this world, but I can't listen to every person that I walk by.
It's too long. Too much time.
It's too long. So the Japanese voice, fucking fantastic.
Awesome.
I'm like, this is it. This is clearly your native language. This is the way I wanted to hear it. So it's much better that way. But the other cool thing is because you don't have that baked cutscene, their mouth completely changed. They now speak with it's tight enough to their actual inflection of what they're saying that their mouth reflects Japanese instead of reflecting English.
That's great.
So it's like it's not an audio dub over the same mouth because it isn't baked, because it's happening live.
I think you were around when I was telling Derek about it. It's weird when One Piece's animation goes up when Team 1 has all the time in the world or Team A has all the time in the world and they take their time. All of a sudden, I can tell it's dubbed. Because their mouths have different mouth shapes. It's not just the mouth going up and down.
Enough.
It's like, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is where the money's spent.
Yeah. Well, and this was nice because you don't see that. Because you're
good.
like, oh, I'm seeing the Japanese enunciations here. I'm seeing the English ones. So that was a positive in the cutscenes. And changing my settings, it just ran smoother, but they look soft. But that's my biggest problem with the game.
Okay.
Is all of the thematic heft is gone because something in the game is fucked.
Gotcha.
I don't know what it is, but if you told me, hey, this is what made them move it from November to March, I'd be like, well, great, but they didn't fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times one of them is literally like, we got the gang together. I'm 10, 11, 12 hours in, and I'm about to siege this castle, which in Valhalla is where almost all the big moments happen, which I know Mirage happened.
Right.
But the last real Assassin's Creed game was Valhalla.
Yeah.
And it was like, there's somebody torturing your brother at the end of this and you're going to save him and you're going to have a big decision and it's going to change the rest of the game. And you're going through and it's like, bring down the drawbridge and fire on this. And you're like commanding an army as you go through. You're doing the same thing here, but I die in the cutscene. And I go, okay, I'm taking damage in the cutscene. Oh, is that what that is, or what? And then desynchronized. I'm like, okay. So then I load back into the cutscene and I just skip through because it's one of those dialogue ones. Skip through until the end, and I was like being rushed by somebody, and I'm like, if I hadn't skipped it this time, I would have been killed again, which is strange.
That's so weird.
But then it might be part of this immersive mode. It might be whatever. But they're like, cool, he's in the courtyard. And this game, being called Shadows, has a lot of dynamic lighting. And at night, it's fucking nighttime.
Right.
And you can shut lights off and kunai light so that it's dark so that you can sneak through and stuff like that. It is so dark that I'm like, I can't see clearly where we're going. Where's the courtyard? Where's this? I'm killing people. The combat's weird because I'm hitting my own guy as I'm trying to fight the guy he's fighting, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't hurt him. I'm just hurting this guy. I'm getting sniped on by these guys. They're putting blue diamonds over some, but they're not on others. And it was like, okay, this is weird. So they're like, go to the courtyard and find the guy. So I'm trying to find the courtyard. I get there and I land right next to a guy and I'm like, oh, assassinate. Boom. That was the guy. He's dead.
Oh, you just killed the guy you were supposed to find?
There he is, dead. And I was like, ooh. Valhalla, I had to go through like 3 tiers of castle. I had to first do the drawbridge. I had to shoot down the tar. I had to grab on the battering ram with 6 other people, and we had to like slowly bust through. And then there's somebody at a castle at the end, and it's like here's their health bar boss fight, you know? And then you get a whole, you shouldn't have done this to my clan, and you shouldn't have whatever, but I just come up, and this guy dies. And I was like,
Were
that
you
lost
supposed
a
to
lot
kill
of
the
weight.
guy?
Yeah, he was supposed to die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was supposed to die.
Gotcha.
I don't think there's a world where you can not kill him.
I saw a TikTok where they were explaining that there is a setting, which I guess now I wonder if it turns off trophies or not. But there's a setting in the game that takes it back to the
Instant kill.
instant assassination.
Yeah, that's not a problem for me. I don't mind. One, I spec fully into assassinations, so I'm almost one-shotting anyone, and if I can't, that really is a sign to me of. And I'm playing on, I think they call it normal, but it's like on the right side of the middle of the scale. So I don't know if there's like, normal, and then they go hard or something, and then easy, baby mode, story mode, give me the adventure. Like there seems to be so many ideas before normal or difficulties, but yeah, they do. That was one I read and was like, do you want instant assassinations? I was like, no, I like the leveling. I like the specking. I like choosing.
I like that it's there, unless it turns off trophies.
Turn off trophies.
That would be sad because it's like, people are like, oh, do you want to play what Assassin's Creed was originally? And I'm like, for probably the people that have been here the whole time, I think that would be really cool for them to jump back into, unless it turns off achievements, and that sucks. But I like that it's there now.
Yeah, it's cool it's there. But I don't, it's weird because you go back and forth in the story a lot. Like you get like prequeled essentially, and in that prequel part, you don't have a hidden blade yet, so you're like regressing your play. So later in the game, you're like sneaking up on people and you can't assassinate them, and you're like, oh, they really want me to just like sneak around this person. But that's another one of the problems is for being called Shadows and having Shadows as a mechanic. They show you your bar of like, even if you're not being seen, they show you how visible you are or not. Because they have different levels of grass now where you have to go, you crouch in some grass and you're fine. You lay in other grass to be seen. And I'm like, oh, that's fine. I don't mind that. It's more dynamic. I have to care about shit like that. And I don't mind it being like, well, here's a bush in the middle of the road. And when these people come to you, you're going to hide in that bush and that's it. It's like, oh, I have to like actually care about not being seen. So there's a constant bar as soon as you crouch to become hidden that shows you how hidden you are. If someone looks your way, will they see you or not? And it's so crazy because it's another one of those nighttime pitch black, and I walk up to a light. I'm about to enter a room. I walk up to a light, and I extinguish the light, and my bar moves like a millimeter. And I was like, this is called chat. I just was standing in the light, and I shut it off, and it didn't change me at all. And I'm like 3/4 visible.
Oh,
and I'm like, I was at almost full visibility, but I was standing on a lamp. I didn't mind.
Yeah.
But I'm like 4/5 visible, really. And I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? Later after that, I literally get tutorials. I'm 15 hours in the game.
Jesus. Okay.
I get tutorials on how to crouch through darkness. And I'm like, you've told me this already. And I go to crouch through the darkness, guy sees me. And I'm like, this isn't great. The way I play stealth, this doesn't matter. Because I'm killing every motherfucker in this place.
Right, yeah.
It's like, oh, well, servants are in orange. Bad guys are in red. Doesn't matter. You're all dead. I'm killing everybody. There's no penalty
Scorched earth.
There's no penalty for killing servants. Dead. Like literally no penalty. Murdered.
Of course.
They go, oh, and they start running away. Kunai to the back of the head. You're dead.
Yep.
So those thematic moments, I mean, it's like I want to live in this world, right? Because I like that. I mean, granted, I like the environments. I like leveling. I like climbing towers and jumping off like an eagle into a hay bale. And it's all fun, but I'm 15 hours in. I technically played as Yasuke because they teach you light and heavy attacks using Yasuke at the very beginning, and he's got the starter cutscene and stuff. But you almost immediately leave him. It's been 15 hours, and I'm not back.
Weird.
It's, from what I hear, like a 70-hour game, but I'm also like, we're in this region. I'm going to fucking finish this region. And then I'm moving on.
That was my way back when we were playing Sword and Shield. Was my thing that I didn't like is I got to a region, I was like, cool, I'm catching every Pokemon I can in this. And they're like, oh, you can't catch a higher level. I'm like, what are you talking? What? Excuse me?
I did it for Valhalla where I was like, let me just do the story eventually. I was like, I'm more curious about the story now. And I'm 30 hours in, but I'm coming back to it like fresh. It's been years since I've played my first 30 hours. Let me just do story. And also at that point, I was one-shotting everybody with a bow and arrow.
Yeah. Well, I've been enjoying my last week, notwithstanding, but I really like my playing Final Fantasy X again, having that turn-based game that I can have on the Switch that I can put down. Like, nothing is going to hurt me in the game. It's all turn-based. And so once I do 10, I might do 10-2, and then I'm thinking about maybe going back and actually just finishing Sword and Shield. Because I did like playing it. It's just I hit that wall and went, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But I also...
new Pokemon games, you're going to have to be in the action.
I know. And because that's why I was like, oh, I'm excited for За, as I hear people referring to it now.
Is how they said it in their showcase.
Z2A.
Yeah.
Pokemon За. And I'm excited to play that, but it's like, that's going to be a different play.
We'll call it Pizza.
Pizza. I like it. I like it a lot. But then I was thinking it's that, but then I was also thinking, you know what I should really do is go back and do Octopath Traveler 2, because I didn't finish that.
2?
No, the first one. Oh. Also.
They do have 2.
They do have 2. And that's why I'm like, oh, there's so much. There's so many things there that for a long time I didn't play turn-based games because I was just like, oh, I like fighting. But I've been really enjoying just having the game, play for 4 minutes, put it down, do something. All right, cool, play it again. Like nothing's going to hurt the game while I put it down. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
So... anything else with Shadows?
Yeah,
what else you got?
I had I'm further in the story. I watched CGB start playing on, I don't know, Sunday maybe.
I saw he was on Twitch.
Was
I was
it
like,
Sunday?
oh, cool. Yeah, I think it was Sunday.
Sunday. So I was like, oh, well, I'll hop in here. And of course, immediately I'm getting, people are in the chat talking about like, oh, you can make this gay love in this, and I want to see a black guy kiss a non-binary guy or whatever. And I was like, God, it's like, I'm just so sick of that already. And I'm like, what do you, there's no way you've played this game. And you'd have to make specific choices to make these romances happen, because the one where you don't role play, there's no romances in the game. Like it's just too much that I was like, I can't do it. But then I hopped back in later just to be like, where is he? And he was killing someone in a field. And he was like, oh, finally I get to play the game. It's not just Assassin's Creed, the movie, the game. And I was like, I get it. And his review carries no weight for me, because really almost no one's does by the time I'm playing the game.
Oh, yeah. You've already got it. You're doing
exactly.
You got your own review.
Yeah, I'm going to be fine.
I'm gummy. Well, I see a shadow, but I'm gummy.
Yeah, what's going on? And that's like technical focus.
Yeah.
That's not that whatever. But yeah, he was like, oh, what? I'm like, dude, you just bought and installed your first Assassin's Creed game. This is a 70-hour story game. The first hour and a half is like a movie. Like, they teach you some buttons and you get a couple of choices, but really it's like, all right, we're going to run to that top of the hill so that we can jump off and do a little eagle dive. Let's talk about our lives as we go up.
Yeah.
Without saying all those words, of course. And it's just like, man, I just spent 15 minutes learning how to do the thing I've done since the first game. If I wanted to get real vague with it. But it's like, yeah, but I care about these people. I care about this world. I want to hear this. Like, this is why I'm playing this game.
Yeah.
I don't play this game to just be kill the castle simulator. You know what I mean? So
it's funny because there are so many, because in my head, if you want a game that's got like intense sword fighting combat that doesn't really have cutscenes, it's just go in and fight things, For Honor is a great melee combat game that has no real story.
I think there's also degrees that it's like you've got Ghosts of Tsushima, which is kind of the same, but then you've also got this Rise of Ronin game that's a little bit different. And it's like, well, just go play Onimusha. Sekiro, Onimusha.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about feudal Japan as the joke.
There's a lot out there.
if you wanted that game in the flavor of feudal Japan. You could get it a different way.
Yeah.
But granted, he's like, oh, new game comes out, I'm going to play on stream and whatever. His review just is like, it's like if I had told him to do a watch along to a horror movie, As Above, So Below, he might end at 25%. And I'd be like, well, that's okay. You don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so I was just that. And then talking to Cody and Devin about it, because Devin doesn't know anything about the game and was trying to find it because GT Games didn't have it. GameStop didn't have it. So they had to go to Target to get it. But as she's looking to see if it's there, she's like, oh, this game's got real bad reviews. This game's whatever. And, it's Friday. Game came out Thursday.
Yeah.
So it was like, how does it have, like, what do we talk from GameStop users? It has bad reviews. And of course, once she started reading the reviews after we explained it, she's like, oh, these are racists.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it is. And we're like, yeah, it's not actually a 1-star game. Like, it's unfortunate that it's getting like tanked like that. But
Yeah.
oh man, what a world. And in fact, Derek was telling me, he's like, yeah, my coworker says he beat it on Friday. He told me on Saturday that yesterday my coworker told me he beat it. And I was like, game came out Thursday and it's 70 hours. By all measures, that's impossible. Like, you blitz through the game, let's call it half the time. Impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, what the fuck? Why do people, what's up with this?
Yeah.
Like, why? I don't know. I love the game, though.
Gamers, dude.
But I really like, so far, I've only been Naue, the shorter, tinier assassin female version. I'm sad because she doesn't get bow and arrow.
Oh,
There's no world for bow. She has kunai. She has things that function
does
like a
have
bow and arrow.
range, just not-
She has range, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And she also has a weapon that has like skills you can increase where you can essentially like grapple hook somebody and go to them.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh, it's very AC Odyssey with the spear of Leonidas. But as soon as I'm Yasuke, he can still do stealthy. It's just more lumbering and less run on the rooftops.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be fucking snipes to the head all day. I can't wait.
That's exciting.
I did run into my first, they're called knowledge points. It's so funny because there's like micro changes to every mechanic in the game, in all
Every game,
Assassin's
yeah.
Creed. So I came into it knowing, but I was like, how am I going to level up this time? What am I going to have to do? What's the different thing? But then also, where is it tracked? And this one has base building, so I can build like a dojo of sorts.
Okay.
But like a commune. It's also I can collect animals like Pokemon and bring them back to my base, and I can have a fucking farm of animals. But it's not. They don't have stats. They don't have whatever. You can pet any animal, or if it's like a bird, you can paint them, and then you unlock that animal, and they can be like placed on your. It's shit that I'm like, why is this here?
Yeah,
but
weird.
also, I'll pet every cat I see.
Yeah, cool.
To collect all the different types of cats.
Is there a checkbox for petting animals?
Not that I've seen.
Okay.
Again, 15 hours in this morning, just unlocked the ability to transmog and upgrade my armor and stuff. And it was like, it's kind of my fault. I could have blitzed to it. I could have done it in probably like 4 hours with everything, but I just didn't. I didn't think to.
Yeah,
I was
right.
like, oh, I'll
get there
wander
when I
as
get there, yeah.
But it's funny when I think, man, they're giving me a tutorial on how to stealth 15 hours in. That's kind of funny. Like, that's unique. Yeah, but I have had another interesting thing.
Hit me.
One thing watching CGB get frustrated with, because it makes sense. You click on the game in Steam, opens up the Ubisoft launcher, have to log in with Ubisoft. And he's like, I don't have a fucking Ubisoft account. Got to do it. Got to make the account. Got to whatever. But then also when you launch it, what else is really interesting? What's James got? It's like Ubisoft is trying to maintain balance by making good and bad changes equally. Balanced as all things should be.
There it is.
Yeah, it's more so like changes. I'm like, sure.
James,
I'm indifferent to. But
Real quick, James, you're playing on PlayStation. Are you having the same gummy issues? I was just wondering if it was like a PC port thing, if they're just having issues with the PC version, or if it's all games. So, James, if you're noticing the gummy issues, let us know.
the soft faces, like the camera moved in and the characters didn't get any higher textures. Yeah. Unless they got blood on their face. But even then, sometimes it's like fresh looking blood on a soft face.
Interesting.
What was I saying? There was something I was saying about this game.
Balancing,
No.
petting, animals, paints.
Oh, the launcher.
There it is.
I was talking about the launcher.
Fuck, I wasn't even helpful.
You weren't helpful. But,
Didn't play that much, but everything looked gorgeous. So I wonder if it's a PC thing.
the launcher, you open up a launcher, but the launcher is the game.
Okay.
And it's a weird thing to say because it doesn't I had never seen it before. It doesn't make sense to me. But the same way you open up When's the last time you opened up Call of Duty?
When did we play last Call of Duty? That was the last time.
Oh,
I know. I lied. I played the new one. I played multiplayer.
Perfect. Well, you open it, and then it says, which Call of Duty you want?
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
click it, and then it goes multiplayer, zombies, single player, and you click it, and it almost closes a game and opens a new game
Yeah,
and
yeah.
whatever. This one's interesting because it opens, and it shows you an actual timeline. This time BCE, this time AD, this time whatever, and you scroll through, and they're the different games.
Oh.
They do say the name in parentheses underneath, so you don't just have to know they're like
It's
fucking
kind of
years.
cool, but
But it's cool. I'm like, oh, I can go through the timeline, and as you load it up, it pulls up a 3D model of the main character doing their thing, and you're in the Animus, and you're selecting it. I select because I was curious. I was like, I don't have Odyssey on this PC. I click Odyssey, and it says like get game or something like
Yeah.
that, purchase game. But then it pulls up the game. It pulls up a synopsis of the game. It shows me the maps. It shows me whatever. I was like, oh, that's real cool. But then I click Nowways. It does the same thing. Pulls up the map, pulls up all the stuff, whatever. And I hit continue. And if you've ever been in an Assassin's Creed cutscene, you're in the Animus, your character's there, and you have full control. You can just
Yeah,
run
you
around.
just run
People
around.
fucking dodging left,
Yeah.
hitting all their shit. But it's like you hit continue, and the character model that was there spins around. The camera pulls back. You're in the loading screen. I'm in the game in like 4 seconds.
very cool.
And I was like, yo, what's happening? Like this launcher is in the game. What if I had Odyssey downloaded? Would I just spin and be in the game? I'm like, this is confusing to me because I don't have another one. It's the
Right.
first time they've done it. But I'm like, I might re-download Odyssey just to see if I can hit play and switch between games like that seamlessly. It was really cool.
That is really cool.
So I really loved the new style of that.
Very nice.
The store.
oh,
You can
Ubisoft?
purchase packs.
Yep.
Just like all
Packs?
this packs.
What-
Bundles, I'll call them.
of games, like game bundles. What is?
In
Wait,
Assassin's Creed. There's a store.
and you're buying packs of
Nope, bundles.
bundles of.
Skins.
Okay.
For your character, that
Gotcha.
is armor, for your horse, for your now
Horse armor.
Now
The-
for your
the granddad of all microtransactions.
it's like functionally different horses, no armor.
Oh, okay.
Can't buy armor that I can tell. Things for your fucking dojo. I forget the actual name of it.
Yeah.
Your hut.
Homestead.
Your homestead, we'll call it. There's not many now. I know there's going to be more, but I'm always curious to check because Assassin's Creed since Origins through Valhalla had the you can pay for 50% more XP as a permanent buff
Oh.
and 50% more currency, we'll say, because it's different in every game as a buff. And because originally I didn't know I liked living in the game so much, I bought them both times. I was like, yeah, I'll spend an extra $10 to make this game a little bit faster and make it so I can just kill things faster. Sure.
And you can still get the achievements with those?
Originally, yes. It's not in this game.
Oh,
I just
okay.
wanted to report it's not in this
Gotcha.
game. My next thought was like, okay, is there a battle pass? Because I'm always curious to see. Go to a different spot, and it's not a store, it's a thing. There is a battle pass. There's two. There's one for Naue, one for Yasuke. Which I was like, well, that's fucking annoying.
That's annoying. And on a single player game? Why is
But-
it? Oh my gosh.
I don't have to pay for it. There is no premium version. So then I go, well, that's
So
interesting.
wait, it's a
Now, so I go, okay, I'm looking at it and I go, okay, where's what do I get? I get a fuckload of these resources that are not Helix credits. Helix credits, the ones you buy, the bundles I talk about. I'll call them just coins. I don't remember. There are 1,000 things, 1,000 coins.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what the fuck do I spend these on? Like, I've been in the game for 6 hours. I don't. You spend whatever Japanese money there was in 1590, and okay, sure. What it looks like it is there's something where the things that are in the store are in a like rotating store, like a Fortnite store, but you can spend that battle pass currency to buy them for free. Because again, the battle pass is free. And there's no way to purchase anything.
okay.
So I go, okay, you're going to give me a different currency that's like Animus dollars. That's like a floating money above the game. It's Animus money. Not Helix credits.
No.
But this Animus money lets me buy things I could normally buy with Helix credits, but Helix you can only pay for. Animus stuff you can only earn. But the stuff I buy for Animus rotates.
Okay.
And instead of buying bundles, you buy a headpiece or just a sword or just a horse or whatever. You can also buy some of the pets,
Yeah.
some of the Pokemon, which you can get like a fucking magic deer that has fall following it because it's a season-based game. Cool. Sure. But that was confusing because I'm like, okay, great. it's been 12 hours. Why haven't I gotten level 1? What is happening?
Of the battle pass?
Of the battle pass. Why haven't I
Yeah.
completed? There's 30 levels, 40 levels per, and there's 2, so like a normal battle pass length. And there's also not a time limit on it. So then I go, okay, is this a one-time reward? Is this done? Is this done after? Because it doesn't say season 1. So what do I get here? Is there only this much currency for the whole game, and once I spend it, I'm done? So I still don't know what's going on with that. But then I found there's a challenges tab, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what challenges I got. And it's like, their money is called MON, like Mon.
Okay.
Earn that money. And it was like 250, and I'm at like 16K. And I'm like, I've earned it every way you can. I've done bounties, I've killed the things, I've finished missions, I've raided it off bodies, I've looted it.
But the challenge hasn't been checked.
No. Turns out you have to finish a certain story in the mission before you unlock the access to the Animus. Like Naue almost has access to the Animus, right?
Okay.
It's like you're trapped in there, your character, who I don't know who it is because Layla, not there.
Gotcha.
Layla Hassan, our what's the guy's fucking name from the first one?
Desmond?
Desmond. I want to say Dominicus. Desmond. He's our Desmond from Origins Forward. She's our Desmond from Origins Forward. But it's not her. But whoever this mystery person is has access to the Animus now. And because of that mission, now I have challenges.
Do they unlock auto? Like ding, 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 ding? No.
No, I had to earn another 250. It took me 6 seconds.
Still.
I was
so
like,
silly.
okay, cool. Well, yeah, because it says kill 5 samurai. And I'm like, dude, you me fucking the blood on these hands.
You know what I did with these hands, Grace?
Exactly. You know what I do? So I killed a lot of samurai, but it's like, okay, so I finished those, but there's only 4 challenges there. When do those come back? When do they rotate? I'm like, there's so many question marks about this, but I'm like, it's a cool idea. It just doesn't feel like it's baked. Like
Yeah.
it feels like it's coming to me kind of soft. So
It's very much like,
Well,
here's the game. And the studio went, cool. How do we make money, though? And then we went, well,
Well, and this is something that I'll give people. It can be a point of contention because when I say buy skins, right? Buy a horse skin, buy whatever. The armor is not a skin. They all have unique functionality. It's like if Destiny made an exotic I could only purchase.
oh, shit.
Where I'm like, oh, that's not just a sword. It's a sword that if I use a heavy swing, it shoots fire out of it. This is mystical magic land stuff.
That's not
which,
good.
Those are things you can earn in the games, actually. Like Valhalla, you can get Thor's hammer.
Right.
And, they all have a flavor to them. It's not just bullshit, but you can get a whole sword that is made of, like, modern animus material and fires light at people. Like, crazy shit. The horse doesn't do anything. It's just a horse. But the weapons are unique. The skins are unique. So that's why people are like, okay, well, there's no leaderboards, there's no whatever, so there's no pay to win here. But if I bought everything, I could just have one set of armor and just level it. Never have to scavenge loot again. Never have to. I could just be one-shotting people all over. And they're like, "Are you going to pay to ruin your game? Like, is that?" So I don't buy. I haven't for Assassin's Creed, Odyssey, Valhalla. I didn't pay anything until I beat the game, and then I put on my super fucking god mode demon armor and just started slaying people, riding as like death itself. You know what I mean? But because you can, and they had a different system for it in the other games, but in this game, you can use that fancy currency when it comes through the store to buy that piece and eventually assemble the armor or buy the sword you want. It's like technically free
Okay.
on a schedule as long as you have the currency, which, if I can name another game that's done that, Destiny 2. Let me tell you about Bright Dust, baby. Let me tell you about the Eververse store, dude. I'm an expert.
I was going to say, how many...
As soon as we get to the compares to Destiny portion of the
is when
the
I'm like,
game.
okay.
Yeah, okay, sure.
I have a great clip I forgot to show you. I forgot it's old now, but I just found it again. I was like, oh yeah, Rooster Teeth did a series called RTES. It was Rooster Teeth Entertainment System. It was just like a bunch of short films. One of them, there's a whole skit that it's like
The support group?
it's Destiny Anonymous or whatever.
Derek sent me that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was Rooster Teeth, but he's like, I thought it was they put Destiny on it like a meme, but then he started talking about getting a sword or whatever. I forget what it was.
Yeah, did you watch it?
I got the icebreaker and I just had to get, I forget
I
what it
saw
was.
Zur was there, and I've been
that's-
wanting it for so long.
That snake face looking ass, so I had to go find him.
I was like, oh man, Stokes needs to see this. So I'm glad you
The
saw
Destiny
it.
support group, I was like, fuck, dude, it's too real. I think it's because I keep bringing up whatever conversations we have to Derek. I'm like, Dude, I missed that game, bro. Like, I just want to be playing it so bad. I could load in right now. I'm getting cinematics coming across my desk. And Derek's like, "Oh, well, dude, just wait for Frontiers." And I'm like, "Dog, that's scheduled for like 2027. Like, I don't want to wait."
What's Frontiers?
It's a fucking code name for some new expansion.
Oh,
but
okay.
they said they also said they're canceling expansions. Like, they don't do them anymore. They just do seasons. I don't know. The game's fucking dead, but lives on.
It lives on.
It lives on in here, dude. I wish.
I mean, the game's still there, you can play it.
all we end up divulging into is just like, man, I wish Destiny 3 would come out. Oh, it'd be great if we could just do this.
Cool.
It's how it goes.
Well, then, to divert from that so it doesn't go that way
Thanks.
again.
Assassin's Creed's a lot of fun.
Cool. I had 3 things.
Let's dive in.
Let's dive in. Hour and 34 minutes in, let's dive in. First things first, real quick thing. Hell House, LLC, movie series I love.
Not where I expected this going
Nope.
already.
Love Hell House.
Yep.
They are...
I didn't watch Lake of Fire, but...
I think there's 4 found footage films.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you exclude the like redux of one.
Oh yeah, the director's cut, whatever you want to call that. The most recent one was the Carmichael Manor. The filmmakers come out; they got one more left. The final Hell House film, not found footage. Which I'm like,
Oh, hey, you know what? Cool.
I'm like, interesting.
I stopped at Lake of Fire, so clearly this guy, he's free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah. I'm less excited because it's not found footage because I love found footage. That's why I found
me
the
too.
series.
Me too. Well, and it's like a pinnacle found footage movie.
Yeah.
The first one is like, it's
But-
probably
but it-
perfect. It's like really good.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I'm interested to see what you do now. Like, why did you choose that this story would be told outside of found footage? What's
Well,
the
my
thing?
question then is, has he directed something that is not found footage already that wasn't Hell House related? And now he's like, okay, well, I need to find the Venn diagram translation. I need to leave the breadcrumbs for people so I can leave this fucking genre.
Maybe, I don't know, but I thought that was interesting that it would, because I think the last movie that really did that was the
Grave Encounters 2?
Grave Encounters 2 was found footage.
Yeah, but there was fucking ghosts holding cameras at the end.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I'm
at the
like,
end.
found footage as
For me, it was the Hollows.
Gallows.
The Gallows. The first one's all found footage. Second one, not found footage. Excuse me. Even though
Second one ends up doing something samey too, where I'm like, this is kind of like floaty footage. Like, I don't know how we got this.
yeah, well, the first, like the beginning of the movie is found footage, and that's what the trailer shows you. But then it cuts after that, and it's just not.
Oh, the second movie.
The second movie.
Yeah.
So very weird. But I'm just like, oh, this is interesting. Okay, we'll see how it goes.
What's the other one? I'm trying to think of movies that I'm like, by the end of this movie, you're not found footage anymore. Is District 9, where I'm like, oh, we stopped
That
being a
transition
mockumentary.
is so good. I didn't even
perfect.
realize it.
It's perfect.
It's crazy.
Well, but another one that does it that feels also kind of seamless, even though they give the excuses and it technically is found footage at the end. God, it's the Michael B. Jordan, Dane DeHaan superhero
Chronicle.
one. Chronicle. Yes, it's Chronicle, where I'm like, he's telekinetically holding up all of these cameras around him at the end, and I'm like, okay, sure. How you mic'd up?
The other one that is found footage to normal film that does a good transition is End of Watch. It starts off very like documentary things. That's a heavy movie, but
It's a good movie.
That's
It's a good
really
movie,
good.
yeah.
So I thought that was interesting that the final Hell House movie, the one he says is going to be the final Hell House movie, is going to be non-found footage and it'll wrap up the story. Which the Carmichael Manor is a different team of people, not with Hell House, the actual house. They go to the house of the people that owned the hotel, and it has slight prequel vibes and then also modern day vibes where they kind of merge the two of them.
Okay.
And they opened up a lot of stuff where essentially like the clown outfits in the hotel.
Yeah.
Those clown outfits were worn by people of the Carmichael family that started the cult in a carnival. Like all this different
Why
stuff.
not? You
Why
know, why
not,
not?
dude?
Let's
I'm
do
in.
it.
I'm in. So
Sure.
But I'm excited for the new one. But I saw that. I thought that was really interesting. Next bit of news I have. It was that one. It was. I'll just go into the other story because I can't remember the second
third one.
The third one.
All right.
Power Rangers.
You got 20 minutes.
We love Power Rangers.
Yep.
Power Rangers is great.
Yep.
From beginning of Mighty Morphin 2 was last year, I think, or the year before.
I think it was last year.
I think it was last year.
When they ended it.
They ended it. The story that's been going on for 30 years or whatever ended, done.
Yep.
there is more Power Rangers in our future.
Sure.
Recently, a news thing came out that currently the producers and showrunners of the Disney Plus Percy Jackson series are working on being attached to Power Rangers for Disney Plus.
Oh, for Disney.
For Disney. So it's seeming more like we might get a 10 to 12 episode like chunky show instead of 30 episode what it was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hello there.
Hello there. Well, speaking of Disney, now I can name on one finger Disney shows I liked.
Okay.
I'm just worried. You know, I'm exaggerating, of course.
Yeah.
I liked WandaVision, I like Hawkeye, but I'm like, they fucked Star Wars, they're fucking Marvel. They're like, there's a lot of things that a lot of people are really unhappy with. So
Star Wars was already fucked. All right, let's be honest.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But for the people who straggled on, they're losing them. I think they lost them.
Yeah.
People still probably hate watch it the same way I do with Marvel.
The Percy Jackson is one that I was going to watch and I haven't yet, but I Willow, the Willow TV show. I'm like, I'd be curious to watch that, but I don't do much TV, so here I am not putting my money where my mouth is. I don't even own Disney. I don't have a login. Yeah, I have Disney Plus. So I like
give me your
Disney,
login.
but my thing is it's if it's not going to be the long running season shows that it is, not procedural, and it's going to be more of like, here's a season of a show and the story is a season. I'm like, this is what I've wanted for Power Rangers for so long. It's all just in the early. I don't know anything. I'm not getting too excited.
Well, you are a little bit. I'm purposefully holding it back just a little bit.
It's a step in a great direction, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, there's one property of Power Rangers that can be made into anything. What do you want? What's the one thing you get? And we'll say TV show is what you choose. You get a season.
Are you one season of a TV show?
You can even change the length, but I'd say a max of 21 probably episodes. But you get one anything. Make it a video game. Make it a book. Make it a movie. You can assemble anything however you want it. What are you doing?
I mean, for me, if I were to do it,
and let's assume it's successful in that it's not going to be bad. You don't just like let it go. It's it worked. It did the thing and it worked. What are you doing?
I've had a trilogy of Mighty Morphin movies in my head for 20 years.
Yeah.
I know the beats. I know how we end. We start all that stuff. So that would be my ideal kind of thing. Now, in the world that we live in now, if you go, well, we can't do 3 movies, but I'll give you 12 episodes. I'm like, I could
4 episodes.
I could do that. Yeah.
Arc. Yeah.
I was like,
2-hour movies and 30-minute episodes.
I was like, okay, give me 12 episodes of a TV show. I could do that as well. It actually gives me a little bit more time to do stuff. And also, the best parts are like the little cliffhanger endings, and I get 12 of those instead of 3, you know?
Yeah.
So I think now if someone's like, you have the money, you have the rights, what do you want to do? I think I would do maybe not even 12, maybe just like 10 episodes. I could probably condense into 10 episode mini series of Mighty Morphin, and then then that's mine. And then I go, cool. Someone else do Turbo after me.
Do like a 2-3-3.
Yeah.
Or something. I guess that's only 8 episodes, isn't it? 3-4-4. That's too many.
I'd figure out the count.
2-3-4.
Yeah, I'd figure out the count, but do something like that because then I'll be like, cool. My Mighty Morphin story is condensed. And then maybe at the end,
then someone can make Turbo.
And then someone can make Turbo.
Someone drops the car keys or something. Yeah.
Or I mean, Turbo's tough because the characters kind of some continue over, some don't. So that would be a little awkward.
It is weird.
I think you would have to have clean cuts from Rangers now, and that I mean, early Power Rangers they didn't know what they were just trying to keep it going. So
it sounds crazy, but the more I think about Power Rangers, the more I'm like, I would go to the movie. Now, especially considering my nighttime reading habits, might get the comic book. I'm like, whatever. We have the board game, and we had a ton of fun with that. We played the deck building card game, which was also a blast. Like, these things are great. I want a Magic the Gathering set.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing is, like, I get all the money, I get all the thing, and I get one thing. I play a lot of Magic.
Well, I'm telling you now.
I just want I don't want a secret lair, like, here's 5 cards, and they're reskins. I want the Lord of the Rings for Power Rangers. Maybe not the holiday bullshit set after that.
Well,
but
my thing is
just the June release, Lord of the Rings. I want pre-con decks. I want different commanders. I want playmats, tokens, the whole shebang.
Well,
and then no one can ever talk about it. Like, no one talks about the Lord of the Rings pre-cons anymore. You're a big Lord of the Rings fan. Mm-hmm. Nick has collected every card that they made for Lord of the Rings, except for a couple silver foils he's still looking for. I got them in the pocket just in case.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk about Lord of the Rings at all. I'd be happy with that. You don't have to talk about it again, but I'm bringing every fucking Power Rangers deck imaginable to the table.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the thing that I'm like,
Well,
this is how I feel expression. I spend a lot of time here. I can change it a bunch of different ways. And getting the Assassin's Creed set, it's weird because it's Silent Joy, because it's not quite, if they were Gundam cards, for instance, like a Gundam Secret Lair, you'd hear it more for me because it's almost a meme how much I like it. Assassin's Creed's like a quiet passion of mine. Like I just really like it, but not loudly. But it brings me joy every time I see CGB put in Brotherhood Regalia, Restart Sequence, Desynchronization. I'm like, the Bleeding Effect. I'm like, these are all, they're Assassin's Creed cards. Like, you're playing with these casually, and I fucking love it. I just don't bring it up, you know?
Well, for me, when I heard them
dope.
going like Disney Plus, doing the new showrunners, I was like, well, that means it's going to be more in the public eye than it ever has been. And we got the Avatar set as the anniversary came up in the new show.
You're thinking you might catch a stray?
If
you're letting it go after that, you're like, maybe it'll cause a ripple effect.
I think we're probably more likely now than ever to get Power Rangers into Magic if we get a new show, specifically because Hasbro owns them both.
We might get the D&D movie cards where there's just 5. They're uniques, and that's cool, but you get 5 unique cards. They just here's your maybe 6. The 6th card is Green Ranger, you know?
No,
but I think that's maybe how they treat it.
Because they're like, here's the D&D movies, but they gave you two D&D sets.
Yeah.
So
before the movies.
So that's what I'm saying is like maybe they give me a secret lair with the actors from the show or whatever.
Maybe.
But then they give me a Power Ranger set.
Well, that's just what I'd hope for.
Because
I should
Dungeons
get the
and Dragons,
Power Rangers trades now. I actually have the first one I haven't read through. That should be maybe my next one.
That was one that I felt like as I was reading through it, you'll like it more because it was just like, well, you are info dumping on pages.
Well, I read the first trade once.
Yeah,
it was just it had just come out,
and
it was going issue by issue. I'm like, so I got the trades.
Yeah, honestly,
but
like,
I just didn't keep up.
You
got busy.
If they're like, oh, we can do Power Rangers, but you don't get to do the story you want to do, I'm like, cool. Let me do the the comic story. It'll be post.
Oh, sure.
Everyone's there. Tommy's technically good at that point, but give me the Lord Draken series. That would be awesome. I'm all for it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But then I'm also thinking like, oh, if there's a new show, I almost guaranteed I'm getting some Fortnite skins. I'm going to see Power Rangers in other places.
I didn't think
which
about
gets
that.
me
That's
excited.
fun. That is fun.
It's like in my head, I was like, as soon as Power Rangers becomes a thing, even if it's on Disney, just if it comes to Disney Plus, I'm like, it's going to be out there more, which means I'm going to get more of it, and I'm not going to get the shitty movie stuff that would probably happen now if nothing else happened.
It's fun to laugh about. I'm glad we were there, but I'm sad it was all wasted there.
But there might be a chance of me getting Power Ranger things in other stuff, which would be great. Because I would say there's a hardcore fandom, and I've got all the TikToks, I've got all the people I follow, I see all the stuff.
Yeah,
but it's a fandom that's been mostly pushed to the side in comparison to other things recently.
I mean, we're very passionate people.
Yeah.
We know what we're all about. And I know that you like Kingdom Hearts more than me, and I like Gundam more than you, and we have those things. We will never be as passionate as the people on TikTok for any of the things we like. Because they're single tracked on that. And I'm like, I like 15 different things. I'll never be as well versed in horror movies as I ever want to be because I also like Gundam and I also like model building and cards and whatever.
I mean, even when we really boiled it down, we were talking over there about doing other content stuff, and I was like, you were like, well, we've got 8 card games we could do stuff with, and I was like, it's just crazy.
8 that we care about in any capacity, you know.
It was just like, oh, there's 8 card games, so I couldn't like in my head I was just like, well, if I start doing card content, I would want to do Pokemon, but I'll never be the best Pokemon person because I still play Magic here. I still want to touch Lorcana. One Piece cards are cool. Like I want to touch everything else. Where if you want a lane, you gotta stay in the lane to make it happen.
Yeah, and you've got to be more than obsessive.
You can step out of that lane 5 years down the road once you've made your home.
I guess
as your lane.
Like, I guess. But I feel like you can't be making TikToks about it. You know what I mean?
No, but I feel like CGB Magic was the lane. And now he's getting to branch out a little bit more now that he's made his home, his base, the Magic base. He's streaming Assassin's Creed, stuff like that. So I think that's the way you go about it. But I like too many things, too much stuff. Like you said, I want my fingers in all the pies. I don't like pie. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
I don't really like pie.
I love pie.
There's some things like, what was it? Key lime pie. think he's like, oh, you like key lime pie? I'm like, that's not even a pie.
You like
Are we
her,
even counting
what do
it?
they call it? Atlantic pie? Is that what she called it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I was like, those aren't the pies I think about. I think of the pies with like the gooey middle with the brown on the, like a cherry pie or something. Where it's the brown on top.
Brown?
Like a crust on top and bottom.
Oh,
and
crust.
the gooey
I was like, what the fuck are you talking
The gooey in
about?
the middle, the crust on the top and the bottom. That's like a pie to me. Or even if the top's open, it's still gooey. But like a key lime pie, that's like a cheesecake. The pie she made, it's like a cheesecake. It's
You
like,
know, it's funny because it's like Jell-O is really what it's closer to. Like for me,
What?
it's gelatinous.
What
Key
is?
lime.
oh, really?
Yeah, I mean that's how it's made with like gelatin. That or like a lemon square. That's not a pie, but you put
Right.
that in, a lemon pie is not. I mean, like how do you get it how do you get it rigid in any capacity? Cheesecake has like things you're beating into it that like an egg that you're putting into it, but
Weird. I just never get Jell-O from key lime at all.
yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
But
I mean,
anyway.
they're not 1-to-1 the same, but it's like closer to Jell-O than it is. What about chicken pot pie?
No.
I mean, obviously you're a vegetarian, but
Yeah, no.
no, yeah. I don't like top crust
Well,
on
the,
anything.
the
Really,
top crust, it seemed.
I like it when they do
Chicken
when they
pot pie.
do it's essentially sugar cookie just crumbled over the top. It's like crumbs.
Yeah, so you get a little
the
crunch.
Dutch apple
Yeah.
pie kind of style, you know.
Chicken pot pie, that's just a soup in a bread bowl. And
It's close.
I'm
it's
not
close.
soup.
It's I maybe give it stew at the worst.
stew. I'm not a stew soup person. Get that out of here.
You've watched us be stew soup people for
I
weeks
have.
now.
And every time I look at it, I go, oh my God.
She
I'm sure it tastes
Shay-
great.
Yeah, well,
It's
it
just
tastes
the
extra great
visuals of
because
it.
Shay found a series that's soups that are basically salads was the sell on it.
Oh.
And it was like because there's just so many vegetables thrown in there that it's like this is only a soup because it's coming in hot and wet.
American summer.
Yeah, nice. But yeah, it's like wow, there's so many vegetables in this. It's like hard to get around it.
Man. Yeah, I don't know. I recently, Bethany was like, you want to try different salads? She got instead of getting her salmon bowl, she got tofu something I had. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. She's like, oh, would you want one of your own? I'm like, no, because
No.
it's like, it doesn't crack my top 10 things that I want to eat. I'm like, it's good, but I only get to eat
It's funny
so
you've
much.
only got 10 you rotate through is like your.
That's
I know
like-
you. I know you.
It's like, why would I need
It's just
more?
my top 10 is like I break out of my top 10 every day.
It's just not worth it to me. Because for
Maybe
me,
it's also because my top 10 I shouldn't be eating every day.
well, that's, yeah.
You know, how many mashed potatoes can a man really eat?
Oh, dude, Bethany, it's like a bag of like flakes that then you mix into, and we put in cottage cheese with it to make mashed potatoes. Oh, it's so good.
What the fuck did you say? There's a
like
bag of flakes that you mixed cottage cheese into to make potatoes.
There's a whole process.
That didn't make any fucking
There's a
sense.
process, and I don't remember
A
exactly.
bag of flakes.
there's
Start
there's
there.
a bag, and it's like
I got the bag. Like I said, a bag of flakes.
it might not be flakes. It might be like a powder flake. It looks like in our cupboard. I thought it looked like it has like the window into the bag.
So you're
It
just
looked like
talking
flakes.
instant potatoes,
Sure, I don't know,
but it's potatoes in the bag.
I'm guessing so.
What if I mixed water in there?
I don't
Or
know.
milk or something.
I don't know. I don't
How
know.
the
I
fuck
didn't
do
make
you-
that. I didn't make that.
Where's the cottage cheese come into this?
She said that we're supposed to use something else, but we didn't have that, so we just used cottage cheese. I'm like, don't ever use the other thing ever again.
What
the cottage
is the
cheese is great.
other thing?
I don't
How-
know.
Dude,
Maybe
there's,
it's a milk.
There's
maybe?
nothing
Maybe we
in
didn't
my
have milk.
life that I go, I don't have this. Let me put in cottage cheese.
Maybe
now,
there's milk.
I don't
I
have
don't
sour
know.
cream. Let me use plain Greek yogurt. That makes sense.
It might have been a milk. I don't know. This is what happened. She walked up
Imagine,
with it.
imagine getting a bowl of cereal. Oh, we're out of milk. Throw some cottage cheese in there. I could throw Greek yogurt on a taco. I can't put fucking cottage cheese in my bowl of cereal, dude. That's crazy.
I was there. She walked up with a bowl of mashed potatoes. I was like, where'd you get mashed potatoes from? We don't have potatoes. She's like, oh, I made it with this and this, but we're supposed to have this. It has cottage cheese. I went, let me take a bite. I'm like, I want a whole bowl
Was
of that
it
now.
mashed potatoes? Is
Yeah.
that what you ate?
Yeah. Well, kind of.
Were you
Different than mashed
was
potatoes.
it fucking small curd potatoes? Is that what you were having?
No. It's just
Did it
different.
blend?
What do you, did I? What do you mean?
Was it? Well, you didn't fucking do a thing, but taste it and go nice. Did she blend it?
No, I don't think so.
I'm just listen. I've made instant mashed potatoes before. I understand. I go. You get the powder in the bag. You put it in the boiling water. You stir it. Oh, look, potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Could you take a little sip off the top of a water bottle, pour it in there, shake it up, potatoes? Sure.
Okay.
Because it's just water rehydrating into mashed potatoes.
Okay.
You're telling me you're mixing in cottage cheese.
I don't know why.
Cottage
It was
cheese
just
and
there.
potato dust. I can see the math there.
Okay.
But now I'm like, no, there's cheese curds. I don't, dude. That's a crazy.
I'll make it for you.
You get the bag of flakes, you put in cottage cheese, boom, potatoes.
Again, I didn't make it. I was just saying.
Dude,
it recently was a potato cottage cheese mixture. It was great.
That's insane.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
You might as well say boom pizza. And I'm like, what? How did we get there? I can't see the path.
I'll have to talk to Bethany and figure out the math.
I'm going to talk to Bethany and it's going to make fucking perfect sense.
Of course
she's going to be like, yeah, because of the curds, I had to blend it.
Because guess what? She did it. I don't think she blended it because you could see the cottage cheese curds in the mashed potatoes. But that was good. It was like warm cottage cheese. It was good. So anyway, we're getting near the end of time. I had one more thing. I really can't remember what it was. I remember the big thing.
What did I tell you yesterday?
I know.
No, what did I tell you? Tell the people I told you.
You said, is it written down? I said, no, I'll remember.
Yeah, you said, I got 3 things I really want to talk about for the show. And I was like, great. Are they written down? Nah, I got it.
I got
fucking
it.
steel trap Brent over here, dude.
Power Rangers was a big one. Hell House. And
God, what a fuck. I wish there was a Venn diagram there that I could be like, oh, maybe the string of things. Was it Toxic Avenger trailer?
No, but that is exciting. I didn't watch it, but I saw that it existed.
That's great. That was good.
Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, maybe it was actually, I might not have had a third thing. It might have been just me asking you how Tree of Perdition worked yesterday.
Well, you can't ask me and then go, oh, wait, I got three things for the
true.
podcast.
The One Piece thing happened last night, so that wasn't it. Man, I don't remember.
Yeah, I can tell that.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, listen. I'm sorry you didn't write it down. You know?
I'll write down the next ones. I'm wondering.
You know what? If there is a next one.
Wow. Okay. Well, guys, thanks everyone for listening. I really appreciate it. This might be the last episode ever.
Do you have anything else, Stokes? I've got nothing forever. I have nothing else forever.
James, thanks everyone for hanging out. James, Stoney in the chat, Tron, everybody else that's going to be listening and or viewing later. Thank you so much for hanging out. I think we're going to wrap up there before I get into any more trouble over here. Stokes, did you have anything else?
I never do.
Then we're going to sign off as we always do and say sweet dreams, and we'll see you for breakfast.